Bring us 2 absolute martinis. You know how I like them, straight up. And then precisely 7 1/2 minutes after that, you're gonna bring us 2 more. Then 2 more after that every 5 minutes until one of us passes the fuck out.
It's up to each and every one of you, my highly trained Stratonites, my killers who will not take no for an answer. Not hang up the phone until their client either buys or fucking dies!
Welcome to the Talking the Line podcast, presented to you by Talking the Line Sports Media, giving you our best insights and analysis so you can rake in some cold hard cash on your next sports bet. Now sit on back, open up your mind, and let's cash some tickets. We can't thank you enough for joining us. We hope you enjoy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, degenerates, gamblers, fans of the NFL Shield, maybe fans from across the pond over there yonder in England if you found us, fantasy football players, everybody in between I might have left out, joining us for today's show, far and wide. Welcome in to episode number 142 of the Talking the Line podcast. Hey, horns up early here, maybe a little foreshadowing. You know the vibes I'm laying down. You know what's happening on this beautiful Friday, pick spectacular, October 8th, 2021, day of bets. Now, I have plenty of vibes to give out. I have plenty of picks to give out. I have plenty of analysis to dish out as well, as to does the man to my left. But before we do all of that, please take a few moments to smash that subscribe button on whatever platform you are currently ingesting the TTL pod on. Hey, if you are watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that notification bell over there as well. Make sure you have it so you never miss the start of a live show, any additional TTL Crew content dropping. But if you're listening to the audio version, your favorite podcast directory, make sure you hit that subscribe button there as well so you never miss the start of a live show or the dropping of the audio, because I said that backwards, but we release that audio after live show is complete. So there you go. There you have it. Next item up on the docket, after you get done smashing the subscribe button, hitting that notification bell, smash the like button. Leave us a comment. Leave us a rating. Jump on over yonder in the live chat if you're watching live on YouTube. Hey, hit that share button as well down there. Send it on over to your brothers, friends, sisters, uncles, neighbors, enemies, grandmas, grandpas, anybody I might have left out, co-workers, anybody. First time better, daily degenerate. The TTL Crew is for all. And we can't tell you how much we appreciate it when you do. Only helps us make TTL Sports Media bigger and better for each and every one of you. Last, but certainly not least, head back on over to this episode's description where you will find the Talking the Line link tree. First link you will see there in one location. After you hit that link tree, you will find the talkingtheline.com website, all of the TTL Crew social platforms, and our additional content so you can consume all of that however and whenever you please. Ladies and gentlemen and beautiful gambling people, joining us on today's show, I am your humbled, honored, and grateful host, Colton, Colt 45, Captain Colt, Chef Colt, Sroka. And I can't thank you enough for choosing to stop by on this absolutely gorgeous Friday of bets. Hey, we got a loaded show coming at you today. I cannot wait to bring it to you, my friends, but there is one thing I need to do before I go any further, and I am about to come out of my chair. I have just so much excitement for this show. But please, allow me to do the one final duty that I have forgotten so far. I need to bring in the man that sits to my left, the man that I have referred to in we, us, the crew, far too many times without acknowledging his presence. So for the first time on episode number 142, joining me just as he always does every single morning to my left, you know him, the man, the myth, the degenerate gambling legend, the South Side diehard, the TTL resident cheesehead, and oh, let us not forget, the birthday boy come tomorrow. Happy early birthday, partner. Welcome in, Mr. Riley RMags Magnuson. Partner, how you doing over there today, pal?
My man, I am fantastic. I appreciate the birthday wishes, early birthday wishes. I am through the roof for, obviously, not only that, get a little weekend action on my birthday, but also I've got some massive sports weekends for my teams, and I'm a little on edge about it because, it's I'm not nervous. I'm not nervous. I'm just not, it's not a no doubt weekend, I guess you will say.
Maybe we have something to talk about when we...
unfortunately, I believe we do,
get
but
into the NFL.
Yeah, I think I'm hoping and praying it's going to be a fantastic sports weekend for me. As far as the non-favorite teams, I know it's going to be a fantastic sports weekend because we've got a hell of a weekend on tap, and I'm excited to dive into some action because we've got a couple hell of cards coming their way, and I'm ready to dive in.
Hey, you sound like me trying to
cards.
You start to walk into a sentence, and you're like, "Oh shit, get me the fuck out of here!"
Yeah,
and you know
I knew what I was trying to do.
I know what I'm trying to do half the time over here too, but
there
it
you
never
go.
comes out right. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, first things first. Just popped over to live chat. Rome, thanks for being here as always. Appreciate you. Hell of a cash on that parlay yesterday. If you did get it. I'm 2-0 starting off the NCAA weekend so far, and I told you pre-show, tell you guys now, I am feeling damn good about my college cards. So we'll get into all of that, but before we do, we have to get a little birthday shout out there as well, Max.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
We'll get into all of that, but before we do, my friends, as a full transparency show here at the Talking the Line podcast, we must always recap the previous day's actions, the previous day's best bets, everything in between. And sometimes we will have losers. Sometimes we will not do the best. But not yesterday, my friends. Not as great as we would have hoped, but nonetheless, a positive day. So we hope you tailed the crew. We hope you were like our man Rome and decided to parlay a little bit of action there with the two CFB plays in the under. The under was the play of the day. But let's get into it real quick before we go any further. All of my best bets over yonder. 3-3 on the day, nothing too major. Me and partner both were on the Seahawks money line. He went 1-1, broke even, but ended up going positive because that Darrell Henderson touchdown was plus money. If you got on it early, if you tuned in live, you saw it. Seahawks kind of let us down in a big way last night.
They did. And I, typically that's when you can go positive, but people still might give you flack because as people don't look into the unders and these other side bets, if you're picking a side on an NFL game, people take more stock in that I guess I can understand it, but you can try and blame it on Geno, but Geno almost dragged him back into that game. So, I think the Rams are just the better team there. And, I think there's some questions, and maybe we'll have something to talk about if we have time about the play calling tendencies of the Seahawks that we have been concerned about. Didn't think it was going to be as much of an issue last night, but it clearly was. And a little bit of a head scratcher on that side of things there.
Hashtag let Geno cook.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about it at the end of the show. This is going to be a loaded, almost might even be hour and a half, 2 hour show. We're going to be here a while. We got plenty of picks. We got plenty of everything. So if you got to dip out, come back. It's all good. We will be here doing the damn thing. But also very upset about Mr. Darrell Henderson. I had to get that off my chest as well. Same as week one catch for 17 yards. What the fuck is that?
Nice little 17-yarder and then nothing else.
Tweeted it out. If you follow me on Twitter, I said, man, I was all over that Robert Woods 58.5. Yesterday, receiving yards, he absolutely crushed it. But I said, nah, I don't want to get too risky. I don't want to do it. But obviously, I should have 2-0 once again to start the college football weekend. So across the board, hey, 4-3 day.
Yeah.
Not too crazy, nothing too wild, but we still went positive money. So hope you cashed that out. I was also all over the running back for the Seahawks.
Alex Collins,
yeah. I had him, a little sprinkle on him, 2+ touchdowns. It just felt right. It felt like he was. Man, it just came in, and man, he almost had the identical stat line as far as receptions, as far as rushing yards.
Right.
He just didn't get in the end zone.
Right.
And I think he would have had a huge fantasy day because I played him in fantasy.
Yeah, you did.
I think he would have had a huge fantasy day.
I think it was the right move to make. But, like I said, I think it came down to play calling. They had so many drives that just stalled because they put themselves in such terrible positions. A 4th and 2 run straight into the best defensive player in the world. Like, what are we doing out here, man?
I would agree with you. Also got another happy birthday shout out. Just wanted to mention that.
Appreciate you all. Thank you very much.
This guy over here.
Appreciate you.
So, yeah, absolutely insane. Bananas. But that all being said, you guys didn't come to this damn show to sit here and listen to us banter back and forth and go on about our bets and our days and everything that we have done. You came here for one reason and one reason alone. Well, maybe some good vibes, maybe some laughs, maybe some stuff in between, a few rabbit holes. But for the main part, the Stone Cold Locks, picks, insights, analysis, everything in between, and running tickets to the window with the TTL crew all day and night long. So right now, cut all the drama, stop all the banter, quit all the nonsense that you could go to every other sports media outlet and get, and let's get into our entire weekend cards. Now, if you didn't know, you haven't been here before, we have kind of done it a couple different ways, but we'll do it this week. We'll go through our college football cards. We'll go through that entire thing. Then we'll go through our NFL cards. Me and Mags are lining up on a few college football plays, so when we line up there, we'll just kind of knock them out in the essence of time together. He'll talk about them. I'll segue a few little parts on there, and then we'll keep it rocking and rolling. Now, before we get into the first segment on the college football, your best bets, I wanted to remind you guys, always gamble responsibly.
Oh, yeah.
Always gamble
Most
responsibly. And afford to be who you can be.
Yeah.
Right? We kind of had we recorded our 6th episode of Wise Words
Right.
last
I was
night.
about to say go and watch that, but I'm like, wait, no, we just recorded it. It's coming out Wednesday.
Coming out next Wednesday. We recorded it early. Our guest, Absolute Electric Factory, we had a blast. But we kind of talked about that. And, you know, you're going to see a lot of college football plays from me this weekend. And you think, how the hell can he afford to do that? Because I manage my money. And that's what I try and preach to you guys and stick to a unit system. I have been able to now bump all of my plays up to $30 straight even plays. I started out just to see what I could do if I could play the same way with you guys on one book. I've started on one book with the $100 that I had, and I started with $5 bets, and I've increased it all the way to $30 bets. Now on my other book, we won't talk about what units I do on there. I get a little wild, get a little crazy, but
Experimental, maybe?
yes, a little experimental sometimes. Sometimes the units can vary in size, but that's because I have the bankroll on that book to do that. So what I'm saying is find your unit, find what you like, what works for you, and $5 is okay. $2.50 is okay. If that's what your fucking bankroll is, because it shouldn't be more than 2 to 5% of what your bankroll is. I know it's fun to sweat out a $50, $100 bet. It's a blast. It really is. I get it, but there's no reason for it. And it's even better to volume bet like this in college football, so you don't have to segue or segment yourself, I guess, into 3, 4, 5 plays, and then you go 2 and 3, and all of a sudden, holy shit, there's 50 more games, and now you're trying to chase. And if you didn't like it before, you're chasing, and now you're just throwing money at games that you don't know, and we're dead in the lock of it's college football Saturday, and that's a slippery slope.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I think, and, you know, I don't want to give too much away because there's very good insights on this next Wise Words Wednesday. But tracking, I think, and what we touched on, the average person doesn't really track their bets, but it is extremely important because, you know, you might have your 5 favorite plays and they might do really well, 4-1, you know, a few spreads here and there. But then you open your book the next day, like, oh man, I had a nice day, and you might lose a few dollars, or you're barely gaining a few dollars, and it's like, what went wrong? I nailed all my favorite plays,
Right?
Because you sprinkled here and there. You did 5 different parlays. You did all this.
Right.
By tracking it, you actually at least have that proof in the pudding of realizing what you've done, and you can stop yourself from doing those mistakes.
Hell
It's
yeah.
more mistakes as opposed to, you know, obviously doing what you do well for sure too, but limiting those mistakes as far as money management is as important as that is.
Big time. We never really stop on that. We never really talk about that. And, you know, I think it's super important. But, yeah, I always like to stop and talk. Before we get on with it, Rome saw you there too. I have no idea. I think they're Radio City. Not Radio City. That's not right. I'll think of it here in a minute. But they're Pro M50s is what they are. I got to think about what they are. But, we'll talk about it later on in the show. Enough nonsense. Quit getting me into rabbit holes. Doggone it. We got picks and insights to dish out.
Wrong day for rabbit holes, I think.
Wrong fucking day for rabbit holes. We got plenty of shit to get through. So, first segment of the day, you know where we're starting. We're going with college football, but we start things off with the man to my left. RMags best bets of the day. Please turn that volume way up if you have not already. Well, maybe not too loud if you're at work, because we do get a little wild on these Friday pick spectaculars. All that being said, open those eyes wide. If you're listening, open those ear holes wide as well, and get ready to have your dome pieces penetrated with nothing but stone cold facts, knowledge, insights, analysis, everything in between. And as always, hey partner, you have the floor.
All right, I appreciate it, my man. I do believe we are lining up on this one. You might have a little more going on in this one. Oh, putting the brakes on me?
Apologize to you, to me,
I mean,
to all you beautiful people. Hey, we're not superstitious, just a little stitious. Drinking the black elixir of the gods on this beautiful Friday morning. Take your sip as my partner chokes, and let's get on with the damn thing.
need a second take on that one.
Oh! Oh, okay. Hey, I'm gonna keep that.
Okay.
I'm gonna sip on that while you dish
Go
out your first best bet of the day.
All right, so as I mentioned, I do believe we are lining up on this one. I think you might have a little bit more on 2 sides or 2 plays kind of on this one than I do. But first one, ACC matchup on Saturday. We are going to Virginia and Louisville. I'm not 100% positive if I've got these chronological, so it could potentially be jumping around the... I think I've got it nicely chronological,
Quite
but I could
possibly.
be wrong. I do think it's in the order.
possible.
Anyways,
Okie-dokie.
I am going to Virginia money line at Louisville on Saturday. I think people are sleeping on Virginia, partner, and they went on the road last week to Miami, took care of business, And now Miami has some flaws, but they are still a solid football team. And I think they do it again on the road tomorrow. Virginia's offense is much better than people are giving them credit for. Their passing offense is amongst the best in the league. And believe it or not, Louisville's pass defense is amongst the worst in the league. Above all of that, I actually like Virginia's defense to make a difference in this game. I think they're the better defense. I still think their numbers are a tiny bit flawed because they did play, at the low level. I'm actually not sure if it's low level FBS or FCS. And then they did play Illinois. However, we did mention that Illinois' defense has been pretty solid. So maybe I'm not giving them enough credit. Nonetheless, I think Virginia handles this game no problem. They won last year 31-17. I predict pretty similar. I don't know about you, partner. If not identical, give me a little tiny bit more offense both ways. 34-23 is my prediction here. Am I tagging you in? Go
Thank
for
you,
it.
sir. Pretty much said everything I could have possibly imagined to say right there. Where I'm really keying on is that Cavaliers defense. I do believe they're also the better defense here, and I do not think the RPO of Louisville really is going to be anything. I'm not concerned about that. Malik Cunningham, Louisville's quarterback, there was a little bit of injury, personal reasons, concerns around him going into this. I don't typically worry about that with professional NFL, but when you're talking about it in college football, it definitely is something to note when a key player is doing that. Now, you mentioned Louisville's pass defense, not good, 110th in the nation, my friend, going up against Brennan Armstrong, quarterback of the Cavaliers, who I think is going to continue to trend in the right direction.
You mentioned it last week, and he proved you perfectly right.
Continue to trend, and also I mentioned this last week as well, but head coach Mr. Bronco is not going to allow any nonsense here with the Louisville
I think
Cardinals.
that might be my favorite football name at any level.
I think I would
honestly.
Bronco, it's
Bronco Mendenhall, I think, right?
Yes, Bronco Mendenhall. That's right. I was blanking on his last name. But you think we're crazy on that? I don't believe it because I'm taking the 2.5 or 2, whatever it's at a full unit. I'm also sprinkling a half unit, whatever your units are this week, on the money line. I do believe we catch both of those. Very solid play. But I don't come to this gun show without a gun ready, loaded, locked. I don't come with no knife. I come with the trends, baby. Louisville 7-16 ATS last 23 October games, 9-23-1 ATS last 33 versus a team with a winning record. Virginia 21-8 ATS last 29 games versus a team with a winning record themselves. 5-2 ATS last 7 following a straight up win and following an ATS win. And University of Virginia Cavaliers 5-2 ATS last 7 meetings with these Cardinals. And I believe this is going to be a shootout for a little while, but then once again the Cavaliers are going to pull away and, can you say, stomp the old birds?
Yeah, 100%, man. I'll keep it moving. Last thing for me, we've been on Louisville in the past. I think we'll probably be on them again in the future. It's not full fade necessarily. I think it's just the wrong matchup for them.
Yeah, didn't even bear mentioning. All
sure.
good to go.
All righty.
Let's keep it rocking and rolling.
Rocking and rolling to the best defense in the damn country out of the SEC. We are going to Georgia and Auburn, and you caught it at a little bit better the number than I did, but I still like this one. Minus 15.5 for the Georgia Bulldogs. I'm predicting, and this might even be generous towards Auburn, I'm predicting 31-10 Georgia victory here. Like I said, that might even be generous. I could very well see Georgia's defense holding them under 10 points here. Georgia is 4-0 ATS last 4 meetings. Beat them 27-6 last year, and they've
Look at
only
this guy with the trends. Holy shit.
4-0 ATS. I mean, last 4, my guy. But they've only improved this year, and their defense, like I said, is far and away the best defense in the country. They are allowing 180 yards per game, number 1 in the country. Compare that to Auburn's defense, which isn't bad, number 26 in the country. 303 yards per game allowed, a 123-yard difference between the first and number 26 defense. It's not even close.
Yeah.
We saw what happened last week against Arkansas. Arkansas is no scrub team.
No.
Georgia is just a massive mismatch. Georgia and Alabama are right here. The next 50 teams in college football are all the way down here. It's not going to be that close. I don't know that it's going to be quite the beatdown that we saw last week, but like I said, my even conservative prediction is 31-10. I think it might be worse than that, partner.
Yeah, I would be more than comfortable taking this up to 20.5. Keep raising the damn line for all I care. I think it's going to be just fine. The Bulldogs are a buzzsaw right now. I'll keep it nice and tight. You talked about the defense. Bulldogs first in the nation, total yards allowed, first against the pass, 4th against the rush, and first in total points allowed, my friend. I mean, it's not even close. Trends, they are the Georgia Bulldogs. 4-1 last 5 conference games, 20-7 ATS their last 27 games as a road favorite, so you don't have to worry about them going in to play in Auburn. You see my shirt, I don't give a damn about them Tigers. Auburn 2-6 ATS last 8 versus a team with a winning record, 1-5 ATS last 6 as a dog. Last week was just a really good spot to back them against the Tigers. If you rode me with the right Tigers, not the LSU Tigers, the Auburn Tigers, a lot of Tigers talking about here. Tigers. If you rode it was a good spot for them. This week it's not. Georgia 7-1 ATS last 8 meetings with Auburn, and 4-2 ATS last 6 in Alabama. Give us both. All of the Georgia Bulldogs, minus 14.5, minus 15.5. Looks like it's going to hold right there, but we're just fine with it all the way up to minus 20.5. Lock it in. Partner, if you could be so kind, there's 1 and 2. My math's working real good today. What's number 3?
Alrighty, so 3 and 4, you might predict it's going to be very on brand for my betting style
you don't
here
say.
and what I love to find. We are going to the Big Ten Conference. I am going Penn State and Iowa, and I am going under the 41.5. I am backing both defenses to show up tomorrow in Kinnick Stadium. Both teams are top 3 in the nation in points allowed. Penn State is right at 12 points per game. I think Iowa is at 11.6. Penn State's offense has been competent and has protected the ball extremely well, and I think they continue to do that. I did say that last week with Maryland. They do protect the ball well, but Penn State is not Maryland. They have so much more size than Maryland. They're not going to force the ball. They are much more conservative with the ball, but I do think they will struggle to move the ball a little bit here, and I'm still not really buying Iowa's offense. I'm not quite as out on them as I was, but they are still 119th in total yards. And I'm not buying last year's score either. I believe Iowa won 41-20. Both of these teams are completely reinvented. I don't think the winner exceeds 20 points here. I think someone gets to 20 points max, and that's about it. And I think it's going to be the most grindy, scrappy defensive game that we're going to see all day tomorrow, partner. I don't believe you are on this one, but I do believe you got something else out of this game.
Yeah, I do. It's kind of scary that I did put a projection of 23-20 on this game because that does go a little bit over. I'm hoping that maybe it's a little 2017, so we stay under that for you. I'll flip my position on that.
Sure.
But yes, for the essence of time, I will dish out my pick on this game as well. I'm taking the Iowa Hawkeyes money line. I'm not going to take them on the spread. A little bit weird, a little bit scary. And honestly, if this game was in Happy Valley, I'd probably be taking the Nittany Lions. I wouldn't really even be thinking about it if I'm going to be honest with you guys. This one comes down to me for home field advantage. I mean, these teams are so damn identical. I mean, both 5-0 straight up, 4-1 ATS. They're both almost identical
defenses
on offense. Iowa 2.7 yards per rush, Penn State 3.2 yards per rush. I mean, it is a game of inches. Iowa giving up 1 less point on defense. So I really think it comes down to this game being in Iowa, boys and girls. I really think that Iowa City is going to be fucking rocking.
Yeah, man.
And I know we got some former Iowa Hawkeyes that are fans of the show out there. So go Hawks. Let's get it, my friends.
Yeah, I was on the fence on this one. I do believe I agree with you as far as the home field advantage being the difference, but I do prefer backing both defense in this one. But I will move into my next one. Another Big Ten under. You know me, I love my Big Ten unders, and I think we see maybe a little bit more offense than what I just talked about with Penn State and Iowa, but I'm going to Michigan and Nebraska. I've actually got 2 plays coming out of this one, but I am going...
Did you side over with me, huh?
I did, which is, if you followed us, is a funny dynamic because... I have been on this team, and you've been a little tentative on this team, but nonetheless, Michigan, Nebraska under 50.5, and I'm going Michigan minus the 3.5. As far as the under, Michigan top 15 in total yards allowed and points allowed. I think their defense fares well once again today. Nebraska's offense, their numbers are a little interesting. I'm not at all buying into their offensive numbers because if you look at their total yards per game, their points per game, it's actually pretty damn solid. But then you look a little closer, they put up a couple 50 burgers against Fordham and Northwestern. And if you've heard us talk about it, we think Northwestern is terrible this year, and they proved that they're against Nebraska.
Garbage.
Nebraska has undoubtedly improved since that loss to Illinois opening week 0. But it's really their defense that has started to really, really improve.
And who has good defense, too?
Both of these teams.
Yeah, Michigan
both
as
of
well.
These teams do, yes.
Yes, sir.
Nebraska is 12th in points allowed. They held Oklahoma and Michigan State to 23 points. I think Michigan gets to that number and not quite any further there. But I do believe that Michigan is going to hold Nebraska even lower than that. I think, like I said, people are buying into Nebraska's offense a little too much. Trust your eyes. Those 250 burgers ain't shit. You probably didn't watch them, and there's no reason to. Trust your eyes as far as the other games. They scored 16 and 20 against Oklahoma and Michigan State. I see a similar 23-16 type game here, partner, and I don't believe Nebraska has the stones to hang with Michigan because is Michigan, in the top 4 conversation? I don't know about that. Not quite, probably, but I do think they are far and away the better team in this game here.
150%. And I've been hating on the Wolverines. I know we got some Wolverine fans out there that are fans of the show, too. I've been hating on them. I'm on the Michigan Wolverines with you as well, partner. -3.5. Hey, these are your picks. I'm not going to take up too much time here, but a couple key points that I wanted to make is that this is the best defense that the Nebraska Cornhuskers have faced outside of Oklahoma, and they lost that game 23-16. They can lean on their defense for some point in time, but one thing you need to be careful of is just trying to make bets based off of previous scores. Much like Notre Dame versus Wisconsin. They were 13-10 in the third quarter, and Wisconsin ended up winning, or Notre Dame won the game by 4 scores. So it's a little bit more surface level than that. Nebraska actually has a 36.8% chance per ESPN FPI to win this game, so it's pretty even correlation with where the line is set at. That's actually a little bit closer to +6.5, +7.5, if not higher. So that's kind of some of the things I wanted to mention, but are you fucking kidding me? You didn't think I brought some trends to this fucking fight as well? Get the hell out of here. Michigan 8-1 ATS last 9 weeks, 6 games. 8-2 ATS last 10 games in October for those of you who do not speak Espanol out there. Michigan 4-1 ATS last 5 games overall. The Nebraska Cornhuskers 2-7 ATS their last 9 games as a home underdog, and 1-5 ATS their last 6 October games. Give it all to me, my friends. I've been tentative on them, and I am ready to rock and roll. This is when the Wolverines hammer down. I'm on it. Let's get it. I don't know if they have a scratch 'em, or do they have like a saying or
Go
something?
Blue.
Oh, it is Go Blue.
Yeah,
That's
go
right.
Blue.
I'm just not a big fan of Michigan. Either way,
hate Michigan, but
I
yeah.
love capping them. There you go. Our something around 5th maybe right now for Mr. Magnuson. I think that's 4 or 5. Either way, Michigan -3.5. You heard all of them, partner. Please continue
4
on
and
if
5,
you would.
yeah. So I've got 2 more left here, a couple different conferences, a couple different sides of the country. We are going back to the ACC for this one, or at least the home team is the ACC team. We are going to Virginia Tech and Notre Dame, and I am back in the home team, as my partner is. We are back in the home team, Virginia Tech Hokies. Do not sleep on this Hokies defense. They are 10th in the country in points allowed. And I mentioned the home team. Lane Stadium is a large reason why they are 10th in the country in points allowed. Their one slip up that they did make, Virginia Tech, was on the road against a solid West Virginia team. Yeah. It's an electric factory, man.
Take my hand off the never land. Please continue if you would.
They held UNC, because of that song and that stadium, to 10 points. A top 15 offense in the country.
Yes, sir.
Put up a couple 50 burgers within their conference. A very solid offense. And Virginia Tech made them look pedestrian at best. I think that's going to happen again to Notre Dame. The books are, I think it was supposed to happen with Notre Dame and Wisconsin, and the books lost on that one against Wisconsin. They got their lick back against Cincy last week, the books did, and I think they're trying to set you up again with Notre Dame again today, because you open the book, you say, oh my gosh, it's what I don't even know what it is now, -1, +1, but regardless, pick them, -1, anything. You see that with Notre Dame, and your eyes light up like, oh my gosh, you can't be serious. That's what they want you to think, partner. And I think this Notre Dame offense is going to look pedestrian, much like that UNC defense did. Give me the Hokies at home money line, baby.
Give me the Hokies, too. I absolutely love Lane Stadium, Inter Sandman, all day long. These teams are actually kind of similar, as much as you would not like to believe it.
Right.
Virginia Tech allowing 15.3 points per game, and Notre Dame 23.4. And then you're going to give me this game in Lane Stadium. You're going to give me Notre Dame coming off the loss to the Bearcats and Mr. Desmond Ridder at home in South Bend. Now they're going on the road as a favorite. I don't fucking think so, Junior. Give me all of the Hokies. But if you don't believe me and him on all of that, Notre Dame is 1-6 ATS their last 7. October games. 7-3 ATS there. Oh, I apologize. Other way around. Virginia Tech 7-3 ATS. I get too excited. Their last 10 games as an underdog. They are also 5-1 ATS. Their last 6 as a home dog. 11-5 ATS are the Hokies in their last 16 home games versus a team with a winning record. And wouldn't you know that Notre Dame won last year's matchup in South Bend 21-20. Boy, oh boy, sure seems like the books have this one spot on, wouldn't you say? Me and partner are right on it. Give us the Hokies in Lane Stadium. +1, -0.5. Pick 'em. Do your line shopping. We love it at the +1. All that being said, partner, you got one more to dish out. Let 'em have it.
Alrighty, so we are going, as I mentioned, to the other side of the country, the Pac-12. We are going to Utah and USC.
Oh, yes, we are.
Going Utah +3. USC has been very inconsistent, and like you mentioned a few minutes ago, do not look at previous box scores as your main way to cap games. I'm ignoring last week's win over Colorado. Unless I'm blanking on a different team, I do believe Colorado is the worst team in the Pac-12. USC laid the...
They fucking suck.
Yes, they do. Am I blanking on somebody else that's worse than them in the Pac-12? Right. They're very bad. Utah is beginning to find themselves. They came into the season as a ranked team. They stumbled out of the gates, and not even a bad stumble. They played and lost to a really good BYU team. They're starting to pick back up again. They're 13th in the nation against pass, and I think we are going to leave this game really impressed by their defense. USC's offense relies on their pass offense, and I think they struggle against the 13th ranked defense against the pass. I know you've got more than I do on this one. That was the main thing that I really like in this one, partner. So I love the points. I would be interested in a sprinkle on the money line, but I think I'll play it safe with the 3 here.
I'm taking the 3 as well, my friend. It has lost the hook from 3.5 open to open the week here, so I absolutely love it. I'm going to stay safe with the points too, but to segue how you closed it off there, I, too, don't think the Trojans are just going to be able to move the ball at free will. Caden Slovis, that other quarterback they got, they're running the 2-quarterback system. It has shown flaws this year, man, and Utah is 13th in the nation against the pass, 64th against the rush, so it's still not outside of the top 10. Decent as hell, 25th in total yards allowed. I absolutely love it. These teams on defense are spot on. I think it's going to be a shootout. I'm going to take the dog in college football anytime, especially with how USC's been playing. Utah's allowing 22.3 points per game, whereas USC is allowing 24.4. So I love this one as well. You know what? One final thing that I always key people in on, and it is very, very important, is when certain teams are a dog that aren't typically a dog. Their last 10 games, the Utes have been a dog one time. And in their last 25 games overall, 3 times they've been an underdog. You have to take the points. You don't believe me, believe the trends. The Utes are 7-0 ATS their last 7 October games, 9-2 ATS their last 11 following a straight-up win. Boatload of numbers here for you. 46, 22-2 ATS their last 70 as a road underdog. Utah is also 35-16-1 ATS, their last 52 as a road dog. That last one was as a road dog. The previous one was as an underdog in general. Okay. So they're great as an underdog. I had road dog written down twice. You know, it's typically good when past Colton writes the right notes down. But hey, what the hell? You get where I'm at. Let me tell you too, USC is 2-5 ATS, their last 7 games following a straight-up win of 20-plus points or more. Can you say letdown spot? Give me the Utah Utes +3 or whatever it is on your current book.
I love that last one, my man. I mean, that really plays into the big brand names after a massive win like that being a huge letdown spot. And to hammer it home again, they have put up some performances where they have 40 burgers, possibly even a 50 burger. But you look at those teams and they're terrible pass defenses. Give us the Utes with the stingy pass defense here.
Smash it in. Which one was it, Rome, for the 2.5? I think it was what we just talked about, right? For Utah, 2.5.
Utah +3, Virginia Tech.
It's probably
Utah.
I would say it's probably Utah. So if it's Utah down to 2.5, fuck, it's dropped the whole point since 3.5.
Maybe take the money line at that point.
Maybe sprinkle the money line, but I I'm pretty fucking comfortable with 2.5 because it opened at 3.5. So you see a full line of movement. Now, let me tell you hey, see, we got your back, bro. Hold on. Yeah, I got you. Hold on one sec. As far as the money split.
Yeah, you said Utah.
Yeah. I saw it. It's just a little bit of a latency delay. It's like 10 seconds, but what the fuck ever. Utah, actually, it's a beautiful play. So it is more worth than it dropping the line. Utah getting 38% of bets on the spread, but 57% of actual money wagered on it.
So they want the public to buy into the 62% on the public. They want the public to keep hammering and to get that money split even closer to 50.
Yeah, absolutely. Partner, anything else you got to lay down, dish out?
No, sir. That's about all I got.
All right. Well, there you have it. Appreciate your bets. Appreciate everything in between. All right. Yeah, I'd smash the 2.5. And then if you want to, too, Rome, maybe a little sprinkle on the money line, everything in between. I really like that play. That's probably one of our favorites of the week.
I was going to say, after seeing that 2.5, that might elevate to really one of my favorites for the week.
Yeah. I mean, it's lost the whole point. So we're losing the whole point. That's holy cow. Definitely something to think about. So let's keep it rocking. Keep it rolling. Not too bad on time. I'll try and squeak in before 11. How's that?
I think we're doing better than we
we
usually
might do.
actually.
I think I can squeak in before 11, so we got plenty of fucking time for some NFL.
Let's do it.
So, first time, we're going to the second segment, but staying in college football, so don't get too crazy. I'll recap all of RMags' best bets and then all of my best bets once I get through dishing them out in the analysis. So, strap in, drop it into third gear, and ready to absolutely blow through the next 15, 20 minutes, maybe a little less, of picks and insights analysis. Hyperspeed, here we go. My best college football bets of the weekend. All right, my friends. Now, I'm not going to tell you too much about this one. If you want to enjoy a sweat with me, this is just kind of off the record. I'm not even going to give this out as an official play, but Stanford plus 13.5 has me very intrigued. I don't fucking understand what is going on. They are far and away the better team. They played the 11th toughest schedule compared to Arizona State's 108th toughest schedule, and I just don't understand what the fuck's going on. It opened up at 8.5, and now it's up to 13.5, so you probably should take the fucking Sun Devils, but I'm crazy enough to take the Trees, but it's not an official pod pick. Don't listen to me.
Red Flag Central.
That's all I'm going to say on that one. I just wanted to let you know it's all highlighted in pink, so it's not an official fucking play. He's laughing. He can fucking see it. So let's keep it moving. Keep it grooving. My first official play of the weekend. 3-star play from me. Be sure to follow me on the Action Network app. I'm at cash_with_ Colt. Riley is at RMags. And you can see the Talking the Line crew's best bets of the weekend at Talking the Line. I always put a nice little 3-star system on there for you, so I'll let you know if it's a 3-star, 2-star, or 1-star. That Stanford play, I just got to play it. It's a 1-star. It might get downgraded to a 0.5 star. Who knows? So, hey, if you want to sweat with me, let's ride. I'm sweating it tonight. I hammered it in way too early when it was at 10.5, and it jumped on me again. But my first official play, I'm going to the game between the Michigan State Spartans and the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, and I told you I will keep beating this drum until it doesn't beat anymore. I'm going to the Scarlet Knights, taking them at +5 in anticipation. This bad boy might drop down to +4.5 as well. It's at +5.5 on a few books, so be sure to do your line shopping, but I do believe that this is going to be a pretty big back and forth game. Now, everyone's pretty much already buying into Michigan State at -5. Right below the -6. Oh, it's perfect. That's a perfect line for them. And actually, we played a couple of -5 so far this year, and they've tended to either push right out or lose outright. So I absolutely love the Rutgers Scarlet Knights in this spot. Now, the last time they were 5-point favorites, depending on what book you use, them being the Michigan State Spartans, they played the Nebraska Cornhuskers, and they had to go to overtime, and they failed to cover that game. So I'm not saying that we're going to see overtime here today, but I do believe the Michigan State Spartans are going to fail to cover. Rutgers has a 72nd ranked per Power Rankings Guru strength of schedule remaining, whereas Michigan State has a 46th ranked strength of schedule remaining. Why do I mention that? Why does that make any type of sense? Well, I'm glad you asked, because I do believe that Michigan State is going to kind of overlook the Scarlet Knights here. Been kind of easy competition in the past, and they have a much harder schedule coming up here. I think this is a little bit of an overlook game, and they might drop one outright, but I'm not telling you to do that. Take the 5. You don't believe me on all of that nonsense. I absolutely love Rutgers defense to be able to lean on them Spartans. Right now, they're only allowing 5.3 yards per play, 3.8 yards per rush. You'd like to see it down a little bit on the total yards, but the yards per rush, that's where Michigan State loves to hang their hat. 31st against the pass and 58th against the rush, so I think they have plenty to hang with it. All that being said, you know I got my trends. Michigan State 5-15-3 ATS their last 23 games following an ATS win. Also 5-15-1 ATS their last 21 games in the Big Ten Conference. 3-9-1 ATS last 13 versus a team with a losing record. My Rutgers Scarlet Knights 6-0 last 6 ATS after an ATS loss. 5-2 ATS last 7 following a straight up loss. And this is actually the smallest point dog that Rutgers is in almost the last 7 meetings dating back to 2014. So I absolutely love the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. I will die on this hill. I do not care. They have not burned me yet. One little bump in the road is not going to make me run in the opposite direction. I think they bounce back in a major way, especially being at home. Give me the Scarlet Knights +5.
Okay. I'm interested. I have to be honest. I am interested. But, I mean, you know me, by Big Ten, I take a big old magnifying glass on some of these games because I think the Nebraska game that you mentioned with Michigan State really has me thinking it could be pretty damn similar to that one. And so for that reason, I do think I might be backing you on this one. But I stayed away because I don't know. I really don't know why I stayed away, if I'm being honest. These Rutgers and Michigan State games, they're either really competitive or they're kind of a blowout. But I think I'm not saying Rutgers has fixed all of their mistakes, but I don't think they're the stinking to high hell type Rutgers that we used to know. Yeah, I think so.
That's all for Rutgers. But as far as Stanford, real quick, Rome, I have no fucking idea. I've looked high and low. No injuries, no key players, no problems, no issues, no nothing. I don't understand it. I don't know where it's coming from, so I'm going to sweat it out. I don't give a damn. It's right below 14. I think the public's fucking crazy, but I might be crazy by the end of the night, so who knows?
That's red flag.
Let's keep it moving, keep it grooving. I'm sorry I even mentioned the doggone thing. I don't want anybody else to have to sweat that out, but hey, if you want to sweat it with me, let's rock and roll. Now, I'm really surprised I did not see you have a play out of this matchup.
I went back and forth a million times,
dude. I got it covered for us. Do not worry. I am going to the matchup between the Oklahoma Sooners and the Texas Longhorns. Horns up, baby. Taking the Horns +3.5 in the Red River Showdown. Couple of key things why I do believe this is the right side to take. This is a 3-star play for me, and one of the main things is this is in Texas. It may be neutral site, but it is at AT&T Stadium, and I'll circle back to that to close out everything off here. But I think this is going to be a heavyweight fight. First team to 30-plus point wins it. No doubt in my mind. I also think that after a terrible showing against Oklahoma last year, Bijan Robinson is going to turn up, and he has looked really, really, really good this year, and I think he is going to get his lick back, as I always like to say, against this Oklahoma defense. Spencer Rattler right now, too, I don't think is going to have the biggest success against against Texas' secondary. Right. They're only allowing 224.4 pass yards per game. Rattler's only getting 278.4, so he's not blowing the doors off of teams, and they were supposed to be that top 5 best team in the league, one of the guaranteed going to the CFB or CFP 100%. I mean, they can still make it.
Oh, yeah.
But they're just not a team that I think is going to stomp Texas. And Texas is back. We've been talking about it. I think they are going to have more than enough success against Oklahoma. Key closing points. Texas, points allowed, 24 points per game, Oklahoma 19. So a little bit there, but Oklahoma points for 38 to Texas's 43.8. So it almost virtually cancels itself out. I absolutely love it. But one final thing I mentioned, this game's at AT&T Stadium. It's not either anywhere it would favor one home team or the other. Well, it is in Texas, but one thing I absolutely love is that Oklahoma is 3-3 ATS. Their last 6 neutral site games, that's since 2019, and Texas since 2019 is 4-1 ATS in their last 5 neutral site games. Last 6, 5-1 ATS at a neutral site. I love Texas. They are 8-2 ATS last 10 as a neutral site dog, and 7-2 ATS last 9 meetings with Oklahoma. Not to mention when they're in the great state of Texas, 4-0 ATS last 4 meetings there. Give me all of the horns. Hook 'em, boys. Plus 3.5.
I'm hook'em neutral on this one, my friend. No, I like the play. If I had to make a play, that would be my play. I'm more in my head. I see it more of a toss-up, and I think you're on the right side here. I really do. I think I mentioned last week this Oklahoma team, as you mentioned, they were supposed to be that number 3 team, if not better, that was going to blow the doors off of everybody, and they just haven't. And I'm almost waiting for that to happen, and I don't. And it's almost like my own, not even a betting analyst. It's just like I don't want to be caught on the right side when they finally wake up, because this would be the chance to, obviously, the way things are shaking out, for them to be the bona fide number 3 team in the country, and they just haven't done it. So I think you're on the right side here, but as of now, I'm on the sidelines.
All right. Well, hey, I can't disagree with you, but I absolutely love them. Hook 'em. Moving on to my next play. Woo! Pig Suey! I'm going back to the boys.
Okay.
Arkansas, I locked it in plus 5.5. It is quickly dropping, and I do not know why. It was at 6.5, and it keeps dropping here. Partner will take a look while I tell you about some things why I like it. I just think it's a bad offense or defensive matchup for the Ole Miss offense. The Pigs are not a bad team. You said they ain't no scrub earlier on in the show, allowing 4.3 yards per play, 4.0 yards per rush. They got gashed last week by the Georgia fucking Bulldogs buzzsaw, and that's the only reason why that's at 4.0, or it would damn near be sub 3. It has been good. 9.3 yards per pass completion, and second in the nation against the pass, 129.8 yards per yards per game. I think that they have plenty to hang in with the Ole Miss Rebs, but one thing that I think that defense allows them to do is really dictate the entire pace of the game. And with that dictation of pace, if you will, Arkansas can lean on their damn good rushing attack, which allows you, if you watch any football, to dictate the whole entire pace of a game. They are 19th in the nation, 224.8 yards per game, 5.2 yards per rush. And Ole Miss is 85th in the nation against the rush. They are trending in the wrong direction, 154.5 yards per game allowed. Arkansas is 144th in the nation in tempo. That is almost dead ass last. They are tied with UConn, my friend, in tempo. So they love to get the lead, and they love to slow it way the fuck down. They are going to get at least a nice touchdown and a field goal, 10-point lead, and controlled time of possession. But if you don't believe me, I got the trends. Arkansas, 4-1 ATS, last 5 overall. They just ran into that Georgia buzzsaw. They would be 5-0 ATS, no question in my mind. 4-1 ATS, last 5 games in October. 6-2 ATS, their last 8 following a straight-up loss. And not to mention 11-4 ATS in their last 15 following a straight-up loss of 20-plus points or more. Arkansas also is 10-4 ATS, their last 14 conference games. The Rebs, 2-5 ATS, last 7 in their conference. 2-9 ATS, last 11 after allowing more than 200-plus rushing yards in previous game. Arkansas leaning on the rushing attack. They are on a skid right now, them being the Ole Miss Rebs. Not to mention the Pigs, 6-1 ATS, last 7 meetings with Ole Miss. And oh, wouldn't you know it, 5-2 straight up in the last 7 meetings as well. So maybe these plus 5, plus 5.5 Pigs are worth a money line sprinkle as well. I'm not giving it out officially. Something to think about. But my next best bet up on tap. Woo Pig Suey. WPS. Arkansas Razorbacks. Plus 5.5.
Okay, partner. I am interested in this one. I love the Pigs in general. I guess I was just more so confused, concerned. Like, why isn't this closer to a pick'em or even -3? If anything, for Ole Miss, why is it so many points? I don't know if that it seems a little too good to be true. Maybe the people are putting too much value on Ole Miss. I really don't know.
Yeah, I didn't know what to make heads or tails of it, and then I found that they are 6-1 ATS last 7 and 5-2 straight up. I just think that I think this line is completely backwards. I really do, and I think that they have a chance to win it outright.
And
I
it might
just
be
think
like
it's because of Georgia last week.
Yeah.
They are not a bad team.
No,
I really think it's
an
an overreaction.
Maybe SEC country doesn't quite buy into Arkansas yet, because obviously they have a closer, harder opinions on it than we do. But I like the Pigs, man. I might be on this one with you come Saturday.
All right. Well, my friend, you see that? You see that shit? You know what the fuck that is?
What's that?
That's dumb.
Oh, jeez.
And I hope you're fucking watching this. If by some chance you watch this and you're really calling me right now, like, dog, we are live.
Which fucking dum-dum?
Well, not the one that showed up at my apartment already this morning, but we are live from, in case, I don't know. When you say you are live at a specific studio from 10 a.m. until around noon, would you continuously be calling that somebody and trying to get a hold of them? And call me crazy, calling me nuts. Who the hell am I? What do I know? But let me get back into my best bets before I get too deep into that freaking rabbit hole. It has to do with the whole saga in the stealing, if you guys have seen it.
Calling to apologize for knocking on your door when you clearly
then I look like an ass. But hey,
no, they look because you laid out the times they shouldn't stop by.
But there was a sign on my door this morning, and they beat on my door.
And you've laid out the times where don't bother us during these times, and they know that, so maybe they're trying to apologize, but it's still within that time frame, so that you're not being an asshole.
Yeah, so maybe I am an ass. I don't give a damn if I am. My next best bet of the weekend: West Virginia Mountaineers.
Yeah.
I am going, and I am taking the +3 for them on a full unit. I am also going a half a unit on the West Virginia Mountaineers money line. It's a good day to be a Mountaineer. This is a 3-star play for me. This honestly might be one of my favorites of the weekend, just based on some of the movement I've seen and the fact that West Virginia is an underdog to Baylor. Even though it is on the road, Baylor couldn't take care of Oklahoma State last week. They couldn't cover. Give me a break, man. West Virginia is not even close to what Oklahoma State is. They are far and away a better team, and I do not believe for 1 second that they should be the underdog in this matchup. You don't believe me? Let the damn numbers show it for you. Per PowerRankingsGuru.com, West Virginia has played the 17th toughest strength of schedule in the nation compared to Baylor's 111th strength of schedule. Still to play, Baylor plays the 6th overall and West Virginia plays the 26th. So West Virginia gets a little bit of a lighten up from what they've seen, but Baylor's about to run into buzzsaw after buzzsaw after buzzsaw, and I think it starts here with the Mountaineers today. I've seen it at 2.5 on some books too, so might want to get on that early, and I absolutely love the money line. All that being said, Baylor has success when they can rush the ball as a closing thought, and they are not going to be able to rush the ball at all against West Virginia because they're 11th in the nation against the rush with only 87.8 yards per game allowed with a 2.5 yards per rush average. Give me all of the Mountaineers to dominate the hell out of this Baylor team, but if you don't believe me, you know I got the trends. They are the Mountaineers, 5-1 ATS last 6 following an ATS loss, 6-2 ATS last 8 following a straight-up loss. West Virginia is also 5-2-1 ATS last 8 games as a dog, and 5-2 ATS their last 7 as a road dog. Baylor 7-16 ATS their last 23 as a home favorite, and 0-4-1. Their last 5 October games overall. Give me all of the Mountaineers on the road. I think this is just, as I said, when the Baylor runs into their first team and that 6th ranked toughest strength of schedule starts to rear its ugly head.
I'm interested, my friend. I am interested. We'll keep it moving. But, I mean, yeah, I think people are putting too much stock on Baylor taking off Iowa State. Iowa State has been as disappointed as any team in the country, so I'm not buying into that at all. So I might be interested with you on Saturday as well.
For sure. Well, I appreciate that. Oh, totally forgot. Haven't taken an opportunity to roll damn tide. Can't wait. Got a big game this weekend. Cannot wait to see what happens. Old Coach Saban and the boys getting lit up. But we already talked about, spoke about, discussed the next 2 plays that I would have dished out. University of Virginia Cavaliers, +2.5 going up against Louisville, a +2. I'm also taking a half unit sprinkle on their money line. We're also both on Georgia -14.5. I locked it in early in the week. It's up to 15.5, comfortable up to 20.5. Already told you about Iowa money line as well, so we'll save a little bit of time there. Now into one I haven't told you about. This one, actually, my partner was trying to have a little bit of a TTL showdown with me, and he got a little bit deeper into it, and he said, fuck that. I don't want to put my reign as king on the line with this one, and I think that's a very smart move. I actually had wrote up my analysis to absolutely bury you on that.
And I wouldn't have had much ammo in return.
So I won't have too much to say on these guys because it literally, to start it off, Washington State has been absolutely terrible all season long. They've actually burned both of us, well, me twice, him once, and he has the audacity to try and take them as an underdog again is how I was going to start it. So let's stay off of all of that. Keep the good vibes rolling. What I will tell you is that the Cougs, They suck. They're 0-3
They
against the
just suck.
spread at home. They are no good, my friends. It's bad. Oregon State is actually one of the best defenses that they have faced outside of USC and Utah.
Yeah.
USC, they lost 45-14. Utah, they lost 24-13. It might be a tight little game in the middle of it. Maybe in the third quarter, the Beavers lose the lead. But much like last night, they say, what are we doing? They put back in the first team and they hammer down and they cover this with ease. I don't see them winning this game under 10 points. Okay, 7, but I think it'll be a sweat and a half, or it won't be a sweat and a half. I think it is going to be an easy cover here for the Beavers. All of that being said, I would like this one all the way up to 5.5, just because I think they aren't going to be covering early, but they will sneak in and hammer down late third quarter all the way into the fourth quarter. Oregon State scoring 36 points per game compared to Washington State only scoring 23 points per game. This is Oregon State's opportunity to hammer down and look real good for all that Pac-12 competition. So I will continue to hammer this, but let the trends speak for themselves as always, my friend. Oregon State 10-1 ATS their last 11 road games, 5-1 ATS their last 6 as a favorite, and 9-3 ATS their last 12 Pac-12 games. How about that for you? Oregon State is also 20-8 ATS their last 28, following an ATS win, 35-15-1 last 51 October games. I don't know how you would have been able to combat that with Washington State 0-4 ATS last 4, following a straight up win. Can you say letdown spot? Washington State 0-6 ATS last 6 home games. Historical trends don't matter worth a damn because both of these teams are brand fucking new. Washington going in this direction, Oregon State going in this direction. I'm going to back the team with a 3.5. I don't think it's Fugazi. I'm glad we didn't have to throw bows on that one, partner.
Yeah, I won't throw too many bows right now. I don't know that I'll be backing you, but as you mentioned, I pulled myself back out of this one.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my 2-star plays just because partner did have kind of that thought on it. Yeah, Oregon State minus 3.5. Yeah, it's definitely, I think it's going to stay right there. I'll actually peep in just real quick briefly to see if the money has moved at yeah, so you can look at this and you can say, 83% of the bets, 91% of the money, but the Chanticleers and the Houston Cougars took care of that last night. You really can't buy steam like that in college football. When it's a favorite, it's pretty doggone spot on. And I think
maybe in like a massive like.
Well, I said to you before show, maybe if it's like the Georgia and the Arkansas game,
or even like Texas Oklahoma.
Yeah, like everybody and their dogs are all over,
like the big show of the day.
Right, exactly. If everybody's all over that, but then you look at that and it's not even the case.
But
so
like a random Pac-12 game. No,
I'm not worried about it at all. Oregon State minus 3.5. I absolutely love it. Let's keep it moving. Keep it grooving. Okay, another 2-star play for me. I actually might make it 2.5 because I actually really like these boys, and that is the East Carolina Purple Pirates. I think that they have a damn good shot to beat UCF, and you might say, Colt, what the hell are you talking about? That's UCF. That's the Golden Knights. They're playing in the bounce house. I understand, but let me tell you a little something. Key reason why the UCF Knights are the Knights is because of that quarterback, Dylan Gabriel, and it reared its ugly head how flawed that team is without him and the ability to have really a solid mobile quarterback. They lost to Navy last week, 34-30 in the first game without him at quarterback, and that really makes me nervous. Dylan Gabriel, pretty much, you have him behind or under center, either way, wherever you want to put him on the field. You can pretty much guarantee that drive is going to be a touchdown. I can't say that with their new quarterback. I can't even say their new quarterback's name. I have no idea who he is. I didn't take enough time to go all the way into it because the stat lines really don't matter that much in this one. I think it is definitely going to be a game that is going to be much less back and forth, and ECU might have a chance to even get out early and not have to worry about trying to scrap back into this game and might be able to lean on their defense is where I'm thinking this one's going to go. Plus 10.5 is way too many points for me with how scrappy ECU has been. ECU actually just laid the piping to Tulane. I told you guys about that yesterday. Tulane and the Houston Cougars, that Tulane was going to start looking really flawed and that decent teams were going to start beating the popsicles off of them. And man, oh man, we saw it with the ECU Pirates. They are a definitely decent team, so I love them. They are 3-1-1 ATS last 5 as a dog, 6-2 ATS last 8 as a road dog, and UCF 2-7 ATS last 9 conference games, and 1-4 ATS last 5 as a home favorite. Give me the ECU Purple Pirates. It actually has lost the hook on a few books in the right direction in our favor, down to +10. Give me ECU +10.5.
Okay. I'll let you keep moving.
For sure. Absolutely. I know you're not the
Okay.
big ECU.
No, I don't hate it. I don't hate
Either
it
way,
at all.
let's keep it. No, I absolutely. We want to save some time here
Yeah.
for the NFL. So just a few more for me. I actually only have 1, 2, 3. I do believe it is. Let me double check. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. So we'll be good to go. All right. So I'll smash through these, and then we got plenty of time for NFL. First one. I'm going to the University of Texas San Antonio Roadrunners, and I am taking them against Western Kentucky +3.5. This really stuck to me as super odd first as I saw it, because I knew that UTSA was 5-0 straight up, and anytime an undefeated team, I don't care who the team is, if they're coming in as the dog, I definitely got to take a look at that. So it's a 2-star play for me, not one that I'm just like, oh my gosh, play of the weekend, but when you have a situation like that, it has immense value, and I definitely think it's worth a unit play to me. UTSA has been a damn scrappy bunch. They beat Memphis in Memphis this year. They beat U of I by a touchdown in UTSA, but by a touchdown.
I think it was in Champaign.
Actually, it was in Champaign. That's right.
Yeah.
It was in Champaign. And they thumped UNLV in Middle Tennessee. I know those teams don't really matter to you, but they're pretty much on the same level as UTSA, and they absolutely whooped their ass.
Yeah.
I believe this is going to be a scrap and a half in Conference USA, and it pretty much is every single damn time. So I'll take the 3.5 all day long with the dog on the road, who is undefeated, and the one UTSA that is 5-1 ATS their last 6 week 6 games, 5-2 ATS their last 7 Conference USA games, and 9-2 ATS their last 11 as an underdog in general. 8-1 ATS last 9 as a road dog, and last but not least, Western Kentucky 2-5-1 ATS last 8 as a favorite, and 1-5 ATS their last 6 October games. Give me the UTSA Roadrunners +3.5.
I'll throw a quick change in there, or my little 2 cents in there. I don't know why I didn't say that.
Throw some quick change in there. I like it.
I think Western Kentucky seems to be, public perception. They are much more recognizable name to hammer in at a little small line like that, and they have hung in there sort of against a couple Big Ten teams. But as you mentioned, UTSA took another Big Ten team
They
in
smoked.
Champaign and took them down and beat them handily.
U of I had to come back, man.
So I am very interested in this one. I might actually hammer this one in alongside you.
All right, another one. Next one up. Here we go. Last of my 2. Going to the game between the LSU Tigers and the Kentucky Wildcats. And I'm not taking the Tigers. I'm going to take the Kentucky Wildcats -3. I think it's going up to -3 on a few books. If you've been following along, much like the Michigan Wolverines, been being tentative on these University of Kentucky Wildcats. Are they fugazi? Is this the real deal? Holyfield, what the hell's going on? And they beat fucking Florida at home convincingly, 20-13. And actually, they were down at halftime by 3, 10-7. And they scrapped all the way back against Florida. Now, I know Florida is not the greatest in the land. They lost a couple key pieces, but they're still a damn good team at the end of the day. They're always able to backfill. It's what they do, and they lean on their defense. You saw their defense early, and they just got tired, man, in Kentucky. And I think that LSU has kind of a similar defensive style, but they're just so young. And at some point, all of these big, explosive, wild plays that they're making on defense are going to kind of come to an end. And I think we saw that a little bit in Auburn last week with just how much Bo Nix exposed a lot of their secondary. And Bo Nix really hasn't been that quarterback to write home about. So I think that's definitely something to note. And man, with it being again at home for the Wildcats here, I would honestly like it to 5.5. I would not mind it. I think they get it done by 2 field goals here. I really do. I've been sitting on the sidelines on the Cats for so long, and I think they are back ready to rock and roll. LSU actually has a 5th ranked per Power Rankings Guru strength of schedule remaining, and Kentucky has a 47th ranked. So if you just kind of put 2 and 2 together, obviously this matchup is a lot easier for Kentucky. So I think they are going to have plenty of success. I could go on for days, but You know me and my trends. 8-2 ATS are the Wildcats. Kentucky, last 10 October games. 4-0-1 ATS, last 5 conference games. And 14-5 ATS, their last 19 home games. Not to mention, I do believe that this is just going to be a defensive back-and-forth battle. And then kind of towards the end, I see the Cats getting it done by 2 field goals or so.
Okay. As I mentioned to you, I have a little bit of a soft spot for LSU, so it definitely puts some bias on me.
Yeah.
So I'm staying away from this one. And I do like Kentucky though. I took them. I ended up taking them last week, and it paid off obviously. So.
They are valuable, my friend. Yeah. They are valuable. All right. For all of you who stuck around for all of my college football card, we have made it to the final pick of the week. And here we go. Last but certainly not least, I glossed over a few more that I am taking, but we already talked about with my partner. But we'll get to that one when we recap it all here in a minute. Briefly, excuse me, I am taking, this is a 3-star play for me, the Memphis Tigers plus 3.5 against the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. This line is completely backwards, my friend, and the books are banking on you just kind of knowing the face name of Tulsa as kind of a football school when right now they're not playing what they should be right now. It is not good at all. They got absolutely thumped by the Houston Cougars 42-10 last week. It wasn't even funny. Now all of a sudden they're 3.5-point favorites again. I just don't buy it. In last week's game was at home too. They were 3.5-point favorites against the Cougars, and I think that Memphis is going to come in and smack them in the mouth, but I will gladly take the 3.5 because Memphis has been on a little bit of a skid. They lost their last 2 games, but they haven't been more than 3 points, and I don't think that this game's going to finish more than 3 points if they do lose it. But I do think they get the outright win, so maybe a little bit of a sprinkle, but I ain't telling you that I ain't locking it in. I'm locking in the 3.5. I already have. I absolutely love it. Not to mention that Memphis, when the last time they were as a 3-point dog, 3.5-point dog, they beat Mississippi State in Mississippi State 31-29. So a little something to think about for you there. I see a very similar game script happening here with Tulsa. And last but certainly not least, put a cap on it. The trends. Tulsa, 2-5 ATS last 7 home games, 3-11 ATS last 14 as a home favorite, and 1-4 ATS their last 5 after allowing 40-plus points in their previous game. Last but certainly not least, Memphis is 15-4 ATS their last 19 road games versus a team with a losing home record, and I just do not buy the Tulsa Golden Hurricane being favored over anybody after that beatdown last week, and especially at the same number. Give me the Memphis Tigers plus 3.5 as my final college best bet of the weekend.
All righty, my man. Good stuff as always.
Whoo, sir. All right. No hesitation, no delay, because we got plenty of NFL to talk about. Definitely won't be an hour because we don't have all that many more plays, but we do line up on a lot more in the NFL again. So quickly, before we get into all of the NFL, you know these are loaded, jam-packed slates. I'm going to have to take a big old swig of water before we get into anything else here in a minute. But for the first time, now live, get out your sports books, whatever one you like to use. Open your ear holes wide. Get your eyes open. Put the Visine in so you don't miss them for a second because this is the only time you're going to see them live on your screen again. The TTL Crews. Best bets for Week 6 of the college football season are now live on your screen. All right, here we go. You got the big card. Let's get through it real fast. Now, me and my partner are lining up on a few things, so I will make sure to mention that once I get to his side. Quickly through it, if you are listening, if you are watching, Rutgers plus 5, Texas plus 3.5, Arkansas, woo, Pig Suey plus 5.5, West Virginia plus 3.5, plus 2.5, wherever you're finding it at, and a half unit sprinkle on the money line. Full unit on the Virginia Cavaliers plus 2 and a half unit sprinkle on their money line. Georgia minus 14.5, Iowa Hawkeyes live from their stadium behind us right now. Their money line is what I'm taking. Oregon State Beavers minus 3.5. ECU Pirates plus 10.5. UTSA Roadrunners University of Texas San Antonio plus 3.5. Virginia Tech Hokies at home enter Sandman plus 1. Kentucky minus 3. I'm buying into the Cats. Michigan, I'm buying into the Wolverines. Finally, go Big Blue minus 3.5. Utah plus 3. And Memphis Tigers plus 3.5. Up above us, RMags picks. You see them. Virginia money line lining up with me, as well as Georgia minus 15.5. It has ticked up, but we're comfortable with it at that point as well. The Big Ten homer, he is. 2 Big Ten conference unders for you here. Penn State and Iowa right behind us, under 41.5, and Michigan, Nebraska under 50.5.
Love it.
He's also straight up just taking Virginia Tech money line. He doesn't need no points. He doesn't need no issues. He's going right for it with him playing in lane. Michigan minus 3.5, just like me, and much like me as well. Utah plus 3.
Love it. Love it all. You'd think I would know better than to, separate Michigan from the Michigan-Nebraska under, but, hey, it is what it is.
But we can still lock them in, hammer them home, sprinkle a little bit of dough down, whatever you need to do. Just make sure you get this weekend's Week 6 college football best bets from the TTL crew in at whatever the current line is on your favorite sports book. Okay, 3, 2, 1. There they go. That's it. That's a wrap. All right. Flip gears. That was me switching gears. Everything going on does not compute into NFL. Quickly.
Just some minor, there's a handful of news updates, injury updates, who might be in, who might be out. So I'll run through them real quick for the NFL. Dan Campbell said both TJ Hawkinson and Penei Sewell have a chance to play on Sunday, have been improving. Definitely questionable. Joe Mixon for the Bengals. Running back is not here for the open portion of today's practice. Brian Flores says Devontae Parker may end up being a game-time decision. 49ers GM John Lynch says there's a chance that Elijah Mitchell can play Sunday at Arizona. That would be massive for the Niners. T. Higgins is practicing today. And I believe there was one more update a second ago. Myles Garrett not practicing again today, possibly a second day this week of veteran rest. He should be fine. He has been an absolute monster. Joe Mixon is at practice now in a hoodie, so a little bit of time traveling as we go along here. He's not quite practicing, though. Mike McCarthy said Ezekiel Elliott, Amari Cooper, and Randy Gregory definitely came out of Thursday's padded practice okay. All 3 were limited participants and expected to start. And now what we're about to talk about in a second here, Arthur Smith's presser in London today. Main note, didn't say much about Calvin Ridley other than there's no timeline for his return. Falcons will make a decision on Avery Williams and Eric Harris. Not at practice for Washington. Brandon Scherf, De'Ami Brown, Cam Sims, a couple of issues there. As far as Russell Wilson, surgery isn't out of the question. Depends on today's MRI results. That is big news there, obviously. And then lastly, for the Cardinals, running back Chase Edmonds was out and working. Did not see Byron Murphy or Marco Wilson. Justin Murray also absent. So a little minor stuff there. Not as big as I was actually anticipating.
So just a few little things to mention. Glad you ran through the whole thing there. And let's keep it moving. Now, into the best NFL bets of the weekend. Week 5 is upon us. Are you fucking kidding me? How is it
steaming
already
right through
week 5 of the NFL season? We're here. We're ready to rock and roll. It's time to dish out more picks. Back to the now third segment, but first segment of NFL. It is time for RMags best NFL bets of the weekend. And if, partner, you could be so kind to once again let them have it. And, sir, you have the floor.
Alrighty, so we are traveling across the pond at 8:30 in the morning Central Standard Time.
Come on, England!
Waking up early for this one. I might, by 8 a.m. our time, I might even sprinkle a little money line, but we are going to the New York Jets and Atlanta Falcons in London. And we are taking the New York Jets plus the 3 points here, partner.
I don't want you to get up too early because you've been saying 8 a.m. since Monday. It's 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time is the time of the start. So I want you to have as much sleep as you possibly can.
I said 8:30, and then I said come 8 a.m. I know, come 8 a.m. I might hammer in the morning.
So anyways. You just been saying you're going to wake up for 8 o'clock for the game. I wanted you to have some extra sleep on Sunday, all right? I just want to make sure you weren't up too late.
I'll be up plenty early.
All right. Keep it rocking. Jets plus 3. I too am on this game as well. So once again, essence of time, I'll segue in. Please continue, sir.
Got me acting like I sleep until 9 a.m. every single day. Anyways. No questions there. I give the edge, believe it or not, to the Jets defense in this game. These teams are fairly similar in a lot of avenues, except the Jets have the advantage defensively. They are 13th in total yards in the entire league, 12th against the pass. Their offensive numbers do look bad, And I'm not saying their offense is good, but remember, the first 3 games they played were against very good defenses that this Falcons team cannot duplicate. The Panthers, the Broncos, and the Patriots, good defenses, and also a couple coaches that are notoriously just tormentors of rookie quarterbacks. That is not the case today. The Falcons defense is 21st against the pass. The Falcons have not shown that they can do anything well, and now I mentioned the Jets have the 12th pass defense. We just talked about the Falcons receiver issues. Calvin Ridley is out. Russell Gage is going to be out, I do believe, so I don't know exactly who Matt Ryan is going to be throwing it to. I think the Falcons are going to have a massive struggle. The Jets might look even better than they did last week. I love the +3. The only thing that gives me any type of concern is that every once in a while in these London games, one of the teams doesn't travel well. But I think with this Jets team, I don't think they're going to be the ones. I could absolutely see the Falcons be the ones that travel horribly and look miserable. And so finally, I'm going to go Jets +3. And like I said, I might be interested in money line come game time Sunday morning, partner.
I wrote it down before we got onto the show. I'm thinking about doing a little sprinkle on that money line as well. You might not have to see me wait all the way until Sunday morning to get that sprinkled out. But the big things for me, they've already made the out announcements. Calvin Ridley, Russell Gage, probably going to be thrown to Zacchaeus. Outside of that, I have no idea. Hey, maybe a big fantasy day for Mike Davis, but I don't think they're going to have a lot of success getting the ball in the end zone because you mentioned the Jets defense. They're actually 14th in the league in points allowed right now, 23.5 points per game allowed compared to Atlanta, dead ass last with 32 points per game allowed. I think that the Jets D is going to surprise a few folks, my friends. You already talked about them, 13th in total yards allowed, 12th versus the pass. I think they're going to be damn good, and I've said it a couple times already on this show this week. Zach Wilson showed me some damn dog, my friends. Last week where he knew he could have put the game, or could have wrapped the entire game up in overtime. He went right to the bench, knew it, saw the film, mumbled under his breath, and was ready to rock and roll. I think this is not going to be too big of a spot for him, and I think we are going to see him light up the league's 24th ranked passing defense in the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. And 23rd in total yards allowed. All of that being said, you hear both of our opinions, but I bring the trends. Atlanta's 4-15 ATS the last 19 October games, 1-5 ATS the last 6 games as a favorite. They are also 1-6 ATS their last 7 games in week 5. Much similar team as it has been over the course of the last few years, which is why I zoned in on those. But with Matt Ryan under center, the Falcons are 58-65-3 ATS since 2008 and 23-29-1 ATS in non-conference games with Matt Ryan under center. Give me all of the Jets +3, +2.5, wherever you're finding it at. I think they got a damn good shot to win this bad boy outright. Call it a crew pick. Jets +3, +2.5. Partner, keep it moving, keep it grooving.
Alrighty, so number 2 play. I promise I am no New York homer by any means, but play number 2, I am going to the New York Giants plus the points, +7. Giants, believe it or not, are actually 7th in the league to the pass. I do believe this defense is going to look decent on Sunday. I'm not saying the Giants get the outright win like we were talking about with the Jets. I'm not sure how you feel about that, partner. I think it is going to be a close game. I'm not putting it out of the question. I don't think I'll be sprinkling it, but I don't think it's going to be out of the question. I do believe this number is inflated. I don't think the Giants are anywhere near as bad as their record would suggest or as public perception would suggest. They are 1-3, but they very easily should be 2-2, if not could be 3-1. I think they are starting to progress. They have been fantastic. Daniel Jones specifically throughout his career has been, I shouldn't say fantastic, but much, much better on the road. And I do think this is going to be a close one here tomorrow. These Cowboys are 4-0 ATS. I'm on top of all the things I just said about the Giants, I am fading a Cowboys trend that is sure to die here on Sunday, in my opinion, partner.
I am right there with you as well, my friend. I, too, am playing the Giants +7. Before I briefly get into that, I just misspoke. I wanted to make sure I corrected that. Atlanta 58-65-3 ATS as a favorite with Matt Ryan under center. I just said straight up as a favorite. That number is, but still, very solid trends. As for the Giants, my friends, I absolutely love him getting the +7. I think that Danny Dimes is going to surprise a few people on the road here. I will tell you about those trends, but I think this is the biggest square play of the week, if you're going to ask me. Right now, 77% of bets and 84% of money are on the Dallas Cowboys -7, with their -320 money line getting 78% of bets and 90% of actual money wagered. Severe monetary liability. I'm not buying into it. I am going to continue to fade the Cowboys. 7 is way too much. They just beat the Panthers by 8, and now you're going to give it at 7. Come on now. Let's think about this a little bit, and now it's an AFC or NFC East division game. So let's division game. So let's think about that. But all that being said, I got the trends. The Giants are 12-3 ATS as a road underdog with Danny Dimes under center. That is the 4th best cover rate in the NFL. They are also 22-6 ATS their last 28 games as a road dog in general. Doesn't matter the quarterback, but back to Danny Dimes being the quarterback since 2018. The Giants are 9-4 ATS versus the NFC East and 5-0 ATS their last 5 versus the NFC East. The Giants are also 10-4 ATS their last 14 as a dog in general, my friends. They cover this spot, and with Prescott under center. The Cowboys are 15-18-1 ATS as a home favorite, 4-10 ATS their last 14 as a favorite in general, 2-5 ATS last 7 as a home fave, and 2-5 ATS last 7 for the Cowboys against the NFC East. Give us both. All of the Giants. It's going to take a little bit of couillons, but hey, you don't have to think we're crazy just because the Giants walked it off in OT. They're looking good. Healthy Saquon. I think this is going to be the week that maybe old classic McCarthy, said this a few times on the show, rears his ugly head. That all being said, for the both of us, Giants +7. Now, partner, keep it moving.
Alrighty, so to the NFC West now. Another massive NFC West showdown, 49ers and Cardinals. We are taking the points with the underdog in this one. Once again, you caught a better line than I did on this one. But I've got it at 4.5. You got it at 5.5. I've got the Niners plus the points. Niners in this spot and the Cardinals fading them in this spot have both been extremely profitable. Go ahead.
Before you go on, probably commenting on the Giants. I know that probably was way out of left field. Just going to have a little couillons on that one, my friend. I'm telling you, it is the right side to play. Please continue with the 49ers because much like our previous play, this is another very smart division play.
Yeah, much like that one. This one, if you're buying into the Cardinals heavily, this might be coming as a surprise to you as well. Yep. Massive letdown spot for the Cardinals, though. 7-20 last 27 as a home favorite. This is way too many points. I'm not sprinkling the Niners money line. I am a little interested in it, but I am not going to go ahead and give that out. I do think it's going to be a field goal game here. Niners 8-3 ATS last 11 on the road as a dog. Trey Lance, you said it to me, partner. That was the final push me off the edge for this one. Everyone's talking about how Trey Lance didn't look great last week. Different scheme that he was not being prepped for as far as...
You do listen to me. How about that?
I do listen to you. How about that? And I do believe with the full week of prep, getting him in that actual rep with the ones in the scheme that they want to run with him is going to pay off massively. We already talked about Elijah Mitchell coming back potentially. That is going to pay massive dividends for this run game. Because over the last 2 games, that's been one of their issues. And, I watched that. Obviously, I watched the Packers-Niners game. Trey Lance, when he was in there, I was honestly much more scared of him in there than I was with Jimmy G in there. So, like I said, with that prep, I do think he's going to come and look pretty damn solid. I'm trusting the 49ers defense to step up their game and finally show what they showed. Maybe not quite full 2019 49ers defense, but at least maybe 80-90% of that. And I do believe the Cardinals are going to let you down. Could be a close one. I think it's going to be a field goal game one side or the other.
Yeah, I put this no more than -2.5 in favor of the Cardinals. I don't see them winning this more than a field goal at all. You pretty much took everything I could have possibly said, man. I absolutely love it. The only thing that I would add on is I don't think that the Cardinals' opponents have been the best barometer of what they actually are as a team. Jacksonville, Minnesota, and Tennessee. Minnesota showed their defensive flaws. We know what Tennessee is on defense and how they are as a home favorite. The Cardinals won that outright as a dog. We love the Cardinals as road dogs, not as home favorites. Yeah. And Jacksonville, where they should have lost that game outright, but the Jags gone Jag. But I'm not going to say that too much because I might be on that hill again this weekend. But all that
They also lost, or they also whooped up on the Rams last week, but that's the Rams coming off of a massive win over the Tampa Bay
big
Buccaneers.
letdown spot for the Rams,
Yeah.
and the Rams proved it that they literally went in last night and beat the 12th man.
Yep.
So there you go. There you have it. But I got the trends to back it up. Under Kyle Shanahan since the year 2017, after the year of our Lord, 15-8 ATS as an away underdog are the 49ers. Under Cliff Kingsbury since the year 2019, the Arizona Cardinals 2-6 ATS as a home favorite. That's right. This is the perfect spot to be backing the 49ers and the worst spot to be backing the Cardinals. But if you don't believe me, Arizona is 7-20 ATS, their last 27 overall as a home favorite. Not a good spot in general. 1-4 ATS, last 5 versus the NFC West, and 1-5 ATS, their last 6 home games. Our 49ers are 8-3 ATS, their last 11 games away from the old Candlestick Park, and 10-4 ATS, their last 14 as an underdog in general. I know it's not Candlestick anymore. I'm just being funny. All that being said, we're both on it. I got it at the better line because I bought in early as hell. That better tell you how good this play is. My partner's got it at 4.5. I got it 5.5. Lock it in. The third best bet coming from the crew. San Francisco 49ers. +5 or +4.5.
I mentioned the final push for me was the Trey Lance prep. Also, that line movement going down to 4.5, despite the public being all over the Cardinals. Getting easier for the Cardinals despite all that money. I digress. That's all I got on that one.
Thank you for mentioning that.
Because we didn't mention it because it was a massive one for this one.
Slip the old mind. Please continue on if you would, sir.
Alrighty, so you mentioned them, partner, and I do believe there might be a chance in some type of capacity for what you said about this team to happen. But I don't
added them.
I added them, my man. I added them. A little pew pew. We are going to the Jags, the Jacksonville Jaguars plus the 4.5. You did say the Jags going Jag. I do think they might have the possibility of doing that on the money line.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe. I don't know what you're feeling as that. I don't think it's going to be on the spread, much like they took care of the spread last week, but failed to finish the game off in money line. Jacksonville plus 4.5. This Jacksonville team is actually 13th against the Russ. I don't think they're going to have too many issues here with Derrick Henry. I like what I saw from Trevor Lawrence last Thursday. A few extra days of prep to prepare for this game. Big division game. And, this division is, I'm not saying the Jags are going to come out of nowhere and win the division, but this division is a ugly division. Worst division in the league. Titans are insanely banged up, my friends. Over 20 players on their injury report. I'm not saying they have 20 players out in this game, but they have a handful of guys out in this game, but they at least have, I think it's up. They originally posted it on Wednesday. It was like 21, 23. And then yesterday they added a couple more. They are the most banged up team in the league right now. And this line has not moved whatsoever, despite massive public money and buy-in on the Titans. Everybody wants to fade the shit show that is Urban Meyer.
86% of bets, 90% of actual money wagered on -4.5 Titans.
Correct. If this situation happened, let's say week 11, and the Jags were like 2-9, I would be like, all right, they don't give a shit about this game. They still want to play for their pride, whether or not Urban Meyer is there or not. A lot of the guys on this team are going to be there right now and in the future seasons here. They have no interest in saying screw you, Urban Meyer, we're not going to play for you. They might win in spite of that. I actually don't really. I'm starting to believe more and more that Urban Meyer actually really isn't that. He might have a general say and scheme and whatnot. But as far as the actual position player meetings and player planning rooms, I really don't think he has that much in there. And they've got some more, above competent coaches in that staff. So I do, like I said, not going money line. I think the Jags might blow another money line action there, but I am going the plus 4.5. Pretty decently confident in this one, partner. Go ahead.
I am as well, and I think I might be brave enough to sprinkle the money line.
Okay.
I don't fucking know. Couple key things just to add on. Nothing too major, nothing too crazy. What I will tell you is that the defense is something that the thing that you mentioned there, because you mentioned pretty much everything. We're on the same exact freaking page. The defensive side of the ball for the Jaguars, the rushing department, pretty damn solid. Their problem is in the secondary.
Yeah.
Why they've been giving up so many rushing or so many damn yards is because of their secondary. It's all been passing yards. It is what it is. They have a pretty damn solid front seven for them being the Jags. We actually talked about it on the season preview. Like, they have a decent ass front seven. Yeah. I will not deny that at all. Another thing, with all these injuries, all these question marks, all these concerns, I think the boys are going to be a little bit tired come the end of the game, come the second half. And this game is in Jacksonville, and wouldn't you know that it's going to be about 85 to 90 degrees still at game time with just about 70%, 70% humidity just all in it. And I believe that the Jags are going to play right into that. Old Jackson doing his triple quadruple backflip off the top rope, slamming in, finally going to get their first win at home with Trevor Lawrence under center. But if you don't believe me, let the trends speak for themselves. The Tennessee Titans 2-5-1 ATS, their last 8 games in week 5, 5-8 ATS, their last 13 as a road favorite, and those are all under Mike Vrabel. 1-5 ATS, their last 6 as a road favorite. Again, under Mike Vrabel. Terrible spot for the Titans to be in. Tennessee is also 6-21-1. ATS, their last 28 games versus a team with a losing straight-up home record, and Jacksonville is sneaky in the division. 5-2 ATS, their last 7 games versus the AFC South. This is going to be either a blowout or a shootout because they always are, and if you look last year, it was a blowout for the Titans, and they've just been reversing every year. I see a shootout, and I might be brave enough to sprinkle some on the Jacksonville Jaguars. But hey, for now, I'm going to take the plus 4.5. I'm so glad you got onto it, too, because I think in spite of Urban, all of that stuff as well, I think the Jags have, despite of the Gipper, we're going to do it.
Well, I mean, the last day, if the books thought the Jags were going to get smoked, this would be at least a touchdown spread. At least.
Yeah. Let's see. Ooh, that's a little concerning. Wow, Isaiah Wynn, Mike Onwenu, and Shaq Mason. Jiminy Christmas. That's wow. Okay, so yeah, we don't have a play on the old Patriots, but
we liked them. But I mean that would explain why, because actually red flags would have been raised for the Patriots, and you might be interested in the Texans. I have no interest in backing the Texans, but indicators might push you that.
Don't get into all of that. We'll get into all of those here in a little bit because I got a shitload of plays still to dish out. We'll close it out with all of those updates. Right. So. Last but certainly not least,
one more.
Your final best bet of the weekend.
Sunday Night Football, folks. Bills and Chiefs, the marquee game of the week. I'm going to the Buffalo Bills money line. I really believe the Chiefs have one of the worst defenses in football right now. Frank Clark actually might be back in this game, but he did play against Baltimore earlier in the season. It didn't really impact the game much, and obviously it helps, but I don't think it's going to be enough here. The Buffalo defense, I'm not quite looking into their numbers. They are fantastic, but they've obviously played some rough offenses. I do trust their defense so much more than Kansas City. I do still believe the Buffalo Bills have an above top half of the league defense here. The Philadelphia Eagles last week, partner, did not punt one single time. Side note, it's pretty shocking that a team cannot punt a single time and still lose by double digits, but that's not the point here. I do believe the Buffalo Bills are going to move the ball at will against this Kansas City Chiefs team, and I trust the Bills defense to get a one or two more stops than the Kansas City defense. The Bills aren't going to play chicken shit football like Nick Sirianni last week and kick field goals when it doesn't make sense. They're going to go for it on 4th and 1 and 4th and 2 and take care of those conversions and put the ball in the end zone. You don't kick field goals beating the Kansas City Chiefs. The Buffalo Bills know that. They're going to take care of business here. I love this one to be a pretty high-flying scoring affair here. I won't deny that. I stayed away from the total, but I love the Buffalo Bills money line, partner. I know you're a little tentative, but I am feeling myself on this one, and I really like it.
That under 39.5 might be worth a little something in the Patriots. But yes, as far as your Bills go, man, I'm still kind of tentative. This is going to be one I got to wait till Sunday afternoon. This seems too doggone perfect. Everybody with a phone or the ability to watch NFL knows how the Bills have been playing and also knows how the Chiefs have been playing. And I just think that, this might be the perfect letdown spot here for the Bills. I don't know. We saw it in week 1. I don't think that's nothing, them losing to what the Steelers are now and kind of coming back
I do think
in
it is nothing.
Buffalo.
I do think it is nothing.
I don't know how that's just a blip on the map with how bad Steelers have looked. That's something I think you might have to take into effect, but I don't know. I'm not going to get too lost on it. Either way, partner loves the Buffalo Bills money line. He's had it locked in since Monday. If I do
First
tell
one
you
of the week
truth.
I locked
he has
in.
had that locked in since Monday. So
Yeah, others have
there you
passed
go.
it as far as my favorites, but it is still first one I locked in.
All right. Well, there you have it, partner. Anything else additional you need to add?
No, sir. Go ahead.
All right. Well, thank you for your picks.
Appreciate
Quickly, right on through it, just so you guys are all aware, partner. I know you had a few of these you wanted to do before. I will get out into my picks real quick. They are actually really, really important. We do have a little bit of an update on Joe Mixon. He's going to practice tomorrow again to see if he'll be ready for Sunday's game. So a little weird there. They're going to work him out per Zach Taylor just to see if he'll be ready for Sunday. T. Higgins will play per Zach Taylor. Looks like Mr. Joe Burrow is going to get him another weapon back. Out for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Gronk, Antoine Winfield, and O'Connor will all be out, no question whatsoever. However, Jamel Dean and JPP are both good to go. You also have a nice little update that Christian McCaffrey is still rocking and rolling. He's practiced all week and does look to be getting back to full game speed. He might be in. Also, a big one here. The expectation is that Teddy Two Gloves will get the start in Pittsburgh. So it was going to be one of my best bets. You're not going to see it on here today, but you might see it in my one of my bet slips somewhere on the Action App tract. I like the Broncos with Teddy under center, so we might have to talk about that. Who knows what's going to happen, but key injury updates always in between. You get it here first if you watch live, but let's keep it moving. Wrap it up for the picks portion, everything in between, with my best NFL bets of the weekend. All right, my friends, so keeping it moving. I just talked about this team, and a key thing I had actually wrote down is it's bad for their opponent if the guy I just mentioned is ready to rock and roll, and that is the Carolina Panthers, -3.5, -3. I don't give a damn where this line is at, because one thing I want to key you in on is a lot of people are going to say, oh my gosh, it dropped all the way down to 3 now. The Eagles are going to do something. No, they're not. Sirianni showed what kind of a coach he is last week, my friends. And this line actually opened up at -3. It got steamed up to -4.5 because the sharps know the right side, and the public just bought back in on it. That's why it's back down to 3 or 3.5, whatever book you use. It's not rocket science. It's nothing that you have to worry about. And especially if CMC gets the fucking start, there's nothing you have to worry about at all with them covering -3.5. Now, if this was in Philadelphia, I'd have to think about it a little bit, but it's in Carolina. I'm not concerned at all. Sure, the Eagles fans can travel a little bit, but this Carolina team, the culture they're building down there, I do believe they have the richest GM in the league now, and he's really trying to build that culture and build that organization. I was reading some stuff up about that, so what they're doing there, I don't think they're going to drop one in front of the home fans or even make it a close game. I put them winning this game by 10. I do believe that they are going to find plenty of success in the rushing and passing game. Philadelphia is 31st against the rush and 7th against the pass, but game plans for the teams that have played the Eagles have not been to pass the doors off. They've got a 2-3 score lead and just fucking run it the whole time. That's why they're 31st against the rush. I believe they'd be 31st against the pass if teams actually passed on them. So I'm not in any position to be backing the Philadelphia Eagles anything less than 10 points at this point, I would say right now. It's a little bit sketchy. We actually talked with a guy from Philly yesterday who had some pretty good insights, and it kind of led me even harder into this play. But if you don't believe me, you don't think that the Carolina Panthers are back after oh my gosh, a loss to the Dallas Cowboys. Everybody, let's relax on that. Like, for real, can we relax on that? That's all I keep hearing. And 3.5 is not too many points for the fucking Philadelphia Eagles. Let's get that straight as well. Trends. Philadelphia 4-11 ATS last 15 following a straight-up loss, and 1-11 ATS their last 12 following a double-digit straight-up loss at home. Can you say on a bender? Philadelphia 1-7 ATS last 8 on the road, and 1-5 ATS their last 6 as a road dog. The Panthers 5-0 ATS last 5. Following an ATS loss, 7-3 ATS last 10 October games, and 5-2 ATS their last 7 versus the NFC. There is no way in hell that Carolina does not win this by at least 10 points, and I think the books are giving too much credit to an 2018 Eagles team, the last time these two teams met, and the score ended 21-17. Wouldn't you know it, right at the exact fucking spread. Don't buy into that. Don't let the books trick you. Take Carolina Panthers with confidence, -3.5.
I think I agree with you. I am staying out of this one just because it is a little fishy to me. But to further your point here, I don't really know what the books are doing with these Eagles because they've been in this spot, at least a similar spot, twice already against the Niners and the Cowboys, +3, 3.5, and it didn't work out for them in either of those two spots. So I don't really know what they're doing with them here, but I'm interested to see how this one plays out. I think you're on the right side, though.
I think they're just continuing to drive the buy-in for the Eagles. And, I just... Because it got steamed to 4.5, so I'm not worried about it whatsoever. I love the Panthers this week. That's a 3-star play. Next one, 3-star play for me as well. I grabbed the shovel, boys. If you've been following along, we've been thinking about it. On Monday, I told you I saw the maroon glove pop up through the grave and start looking around for a hand to pull it back up. And what hand did it find? Mine. And I reached and I pulled and I brought back up that Washington football team, and I'm taking them +2.5. Boys and girls, I got my bulletproof vest on. I got my helmet on tight. My marching boots are laced. I have a couple of extra clips in the pocket for when we run out of bullets. I will die on this hill. I do not care. And if I die this weekend on this hill, I will leave the Washington football gambling body to rot in its existence, and I will not return to the hill this season. I will have been burned one too many times, and that is a promise I will make. Now, all of that as a preface, my friends. A couple key reasons as to why I actually like this play. Washington football team offense is actually probably going to surprise the New Orleans defense. The New Orleans defense hasn't been everything they typically have been, allowing 5.6 yards per play actually right now, shockingly. Football teams averaging 6.0 yards per play, so I think they smack them in the mouth a couple of times. I really don't know what the Saints team is. I think they're more on that side of no good than actually a team that's really, really good that beats your pack 38-3. I think that was just kind of a victim of circumstance for the Packers going down to Florida, doing that whole shit. Rodgers has never been good in the old Florida sun. So it is what it is. I think it was just kind of one of those victim of circumstance moments. But you don't believe me in all of that. You think I'm fucking cuckoo. You think that they're not just going to show up and actually have a battle in this game. I think that you should take a look at where the money and the bets are flowing in, because the Sharps have taken their position. 27% of bets are on Washington football team +2.5, but 46% of actual money wagered on the spread is on the football team. I love it. I love them to thump the Saints, who are 4-10 ATS, their last 14 Week 5 games. Washington football is 6-1 ATS, their last 7 October games. They have a bumpy September, and then we wake up in October, boys. That's what I'm banking on. They're also 5-1 ATS, last 6 following a straight-up win. 5-2 ATS, last 7 as a dog, and 5-2 ATS, last 7 as a home dog. Not to mention, Washington football team is 6-1 ATS, last 7 meetings with New Orleans, and 4-3 straight up. I will take the 2.5 every day of the week and twice on this Sunday. Might even think about a sprinkle on the money line, but for right now, popping the clip, getting ready to go to battle with the books and getting back on the football team hill. Lock them in if you're crazy enough with me. Doesn't look like my partner is. He kept his shovel at home. But Washington football team +2.5.
I'm empty-handed, partner. I like the play. I really do. If I had to pick the side, it would be the Washington football team. But I didn't bring my shovel. But I do agree with you about the Saints. I don't think they know who they are, especially offensively, because I do think they have solid pieces on defense. But until they figure out what they are on offense, I don't think they can play complementary football. And you've seen it so far. That when it gets the Patriots, I mean, I've heard a lot of Patriots fans say, "What do you got going on? You scooting away from me?"
Go.
Okay.
I'm just getting prepared.
For sure.
I'll let you guys know why in a minute.
I'm done with this one. Yeah, I like your play. I'm keeping my shovel at home. We'll see.
You see how he's already putting his hand over here towards me? He knows where the fuck I'm going. You see what he's already doing? All right. Why the hell did I scoot all the way over here? I don't think I brought enough fucking armor to this show to be able to dish out this pick with this man not ripping his fucking hair out and wanting to kill me on his fucking birthday weekend, and with what the hell happened with his White Sox last night. Now, I hope the White Sox, again going against Framber Valdez, the lefty, they beat the absolute dog piss out of him. But partner, I don't think it's fucking happening with your pack. And I do apologize, but I am taking the Cincinnati Bengals +3, or whatever the best line you're finding it at. Now, I feel all right. Saw it at +3.5 to open up the week, and I said, partner, what the fuck is this? What the hell is going on right now? And he said, boy, oh boy, if I wasn't a Packers fan, I would be saying the same fucking thing. I was like, I'm going to stay away from it. I'm not going to get wild. I got burned on the fucking Steelers last week. Woke up the next day, it had already lost the fucking hook. It is already down to 3. I said, whoa, Nelly, what do we have going on here? Wilbur. So I said, well, son of a gun, I got to take a look at that. And man, oh man, if this does not scream the Packers or the books begging you to take the Packers -3, I mean, I don't know what is. They are dying to get you to hammer this in. It is so small. The bad man's back, everything. I think this is the week where we see some serious flaws. Some things I got to mention to you guys, and you might really hate me by the end of all of this, but we'll get through it. Some key issues going on with the Packers. This week, no Jair Alexander. Definitely makes big holes in the secondary. Without him, that secondary is very, very lackluster, especially with his presence. I would dare say starting to become a veteran presence early on in his career. They are going to be sorely missing him. Okay, great. They signed Jalen Smith this week. I don't know how much of an immediate impact he is going to be.
Not even sure if he's playing.
Not even sure if he's playing. Packers fans are pretty hyped about that. I'm personally pretty hyped about that. I know he's a Midwest guy, and you know I'm not a Packers fan, but I think it's pretty doggone cool when guys are able to do that late in their career. So I think that that's going to be kind of an issue. And overall, the defense overarching just really, 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 really makes me nervous. Some really key guys out, some key guys just showing flaws. And guys, I've said it before, I don't think Detroit, San Francisco, and Pittsburgh are the best barometers right now of where that defense actually is. Pittsburgh shell of themselves last week. 49ers absolutely getting destroyed, and then they let them scrap all the way back in. They let the 49ers scrap all the way back in, for crying out loud. And then the damn Detroit Lions. I mean, you can say that game was a blowout all you want. It wasn't that much of a blowout, even though the final score would say so. Last but not least, I know you hate me for it, partner. I got to pound it home. The offense still showing a little bit of struggles. No MVS. You've said it on the show, too. It just really, really, really is important for him to be in there. Even if he doesn't get catches, he still makes that defense be conscious of him deep in the middle of the field, and that takes a lot of eyes off. I think Jenkins might be back. I don't know. Takatari still not looking great without him. We've seen a little bit of pressure happen.
Not to cut you off, kind of helping you. That obviously that helps, but they've shown that they're fine without him.
Yeah, they've shown that they're fine, and it's been a little bit of pressure on that side of the ball. Now, wrapping it all up, I won't get too crazy with the offense because I think they're still decent. I think they do get smacked in the mouth a little bit by the Bengals, but that's not what I'm really concerned about. I think the Bengals are going to jump out early, and it's going to throw the Packers off of their game plan. Why do I think that? Because the Packers defense has only 4 sacks on the entire year. And that's something that Joe Burrow has been struggling with, allowing or the offensive line to allowing that pressure. You can see a stat line of 7, but they're all half sacks. They have 4 half sacks so far, so nothing amazing. So I equate it all to 4 sacks in total. It's not very good down there in Green Bay right now, and I think we might see, or up there, might see a little bit of issues here Green Bay-wise. But last but not least, this is the sharp side. +3 getting 27% of bets, 62% of actual money wagered on Cincinnati. +3 early on in the week. Green Bay 3-7 ATS last 10 versus a team with a winning straight-up home record. Cincinnati 4-1 ATS last 5 following an ATS loss. 5-2 ATS last 7 at home, and as a home dog, they are 3-0 ATS last 3 meetings with Green Bay, and 2-1 straight up. Give me the stripes. Rule the jungle. Bengals +3. For those of you, listening, he might have had a few palpitations. He is back live in prime time.
No, the injuries. I mean, MVS and Jair, those are no doubt concerns.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as my own sake, what I will say to make myself feel better about this, Aaron Rodgers, typically, of all the quarterbacks in the league, he is the one that typically defies these trends.
Yep.
This will be the third straight week in the road that the books need the Packers to fail to cover. They did take care of the last two. Yeah, why isn't it like -6 though? Why isn't it -6 or 4 even 5? I don't know, dude.
Yep. It's what it should be. I know.
Like if it was 4, I'd be like, okay, they're winning by a field goal, right? Right?
I know. I hate it for you. I understand. I get it. All right, there it is.
I can, The thing that you said about getting out there early, if the Packers get the ball first, I'll feel a lot better. But
I
if
think
the Bengals get it first and go out to score,
they're going out to score, and it's going to throw the Pack off their game plan early. I see Bengals being up 14-0 early and shocking some people, but there you see them. There you go. I got one final play to dish out, and then we got just a little bit of nonsense. I'll get you some motivation. We'll get the hell out of here. We've been scooting right along. A long show today.
Yeah, we got my White Sox coming up 1 o'clock, baby.
Ooh, excuse me. All right, last but not least, final play of the weekend for me. This is a 3-star play. Now, with the line movement, I'm a little bit more interested now in the money line, but I got it early on in the week at -1.5. It's turning into a little bit of a public play, but not severe yet. I just be a little bit tentative. Write it with me if you want for sure, but just be a little bit tentative on this one. I would lean a little bit more to the money line just with what I've seen, but if it drops down a little bit more as far as money and bet percent on Sunday, then I am more than fine with it. I think that this is going to turn into a defensive battle, back and forth game, and I really think that the public is still underestimating the hell out of the Chargers.
Yeah.
I've said it a million times. The Anthony Lynn anchovies are off of the Chargers. We do not have to worry about that nonsense anymore and fucking up one of our bites of that glorious pizza and potential for a playoff picture, that playoff picture pizza, if you will. I think even Chargers fans are starting to fucking realize that they got a stud, a dude at quarterback, and also Brandon Staley ain't no schlub himself.
No.
That motherfucker get something done any day of the week.
What he said in his press conference, sorry to cut you off, it was like, you get it.
Yeah.
You just get it, guy.
Yeah. He is the
just
shit.
get it.
Brandon Staley is a damn good head coach. I absolutely love him being at the helm of the Chargers. I'll keep backing these guys until the fucking wheels fall off, and I think it is only just about to trend up. I think everybody is running to the Browns pretty undeservingly. They only beat the Vikings 14-7, and the Vikings had about 30 fucking opportunities to win that game themselves. It was not a convincing win. If you told us last week we actually had the Vikings and it was a brutal beat, and we would say we do it a million times over again with how brutal of a beat it was. But you don't believe me on all of that? Chargers are back to full health. Browns dealing with some injury concerns, some questionable stuff rolling out about OBJ Baker into the week. I just got some concerns about what the Browns are actually going to be able to do going on their second game on the road now on the West Coast. But let the trends speak for themselves. 7-16 ATS are the Cleveland Browns in their last 23 October games. 5-3 ATS last 18 versus AFC opponents, and 10-27-2 in their last 39 ATS versus a team with a winning record. The Chargers 5-0 ATS last 5 versus an AFC opponent. 4-1 ATS last 5 following an ATS win and straight up win, and they are 4-1 ATS their last 5-week 5 games. It's time for them to turn it up. Brandon Staley gets the boys hyped, and we get to see even more of how much a dude Justin Herbert is. He's going to light up that team. I think that secondary is going to get a little bit exposed, and they're just not going to get as much pressure as they have been able to, them being the Browns on defense. That all being said, my final best bet of the week, and before we recap it all, Los Angeles Chargers -1.5, or if it's up to -3, maybe the money line.
Okay, I think I'll be with you on this one, my man. I saw this kind of a toss-up coming into it, but then the more I think about it, the more I continue to lean towards the Chargers. So I think I'll at least have a half unit sprinkle on this one. I mean, the injury stuff about Baker Mayfield, that's not nothing, man. We've seen the eye test of how he's just missing these receivers, and I don't think that's going to stop here. And I know the Chargers are a better football team than the Vikings. Justin Herbert is better than Kirk Cousins is. I may be sick watching what Kirk Cousins did last week. I don't think we have those concerns with Justin Herbert. I think I will be backing you on Sunday on this one, my friend.
Thank you, sir. All right, just wanted to wrap it up here. I told you I got the friggin', I want to take a look at kind of what some of their guys are playing. I took Stanford plus 11.5 early on in the week. It's up to 13.5. I don't understand that line movement. You want to sweat that out. I would not recommend doing that shit. The under seems like kind of a safe bet in that game, to tell you the truth. It's at 53, 28% of bets, 88% of money. I don't know. I personally didn't make too many plays. I was going to take FIU as well. I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into the MLB slate as well before we did this. I didn't want to bring anything official. I wanted to be able to find some stuff. And man, I just kept going back and forth on this FIU and Charlotte game as well. You might end up seeing me have a play on that, so follow me on the Action app or talkingtheline.com. You can see our today's best bets. I'll add it there as well. But I just don't know if I can trust FIU. They've burned me a handful of times.
It's like the indicators are saying FIU to us basically, but they just haven't shown it, and I don't know that I'm comfortable with it.
The 49ers have burned this guy a couple of times.
Charlotte?
Yeah, most especially when we had a TTL showdown.
Duke at the beginning of the season.
Absolutely piped him. So.
Yeah, that was the only one, and I guess, we can't back Illinois, but they covered against Illinois last week. They did get the loss, but
Does Illinois play tonight?
Not tonight, no.
Okay. Are those the only two games on tap for
Temple
college?
Cincinnati is the other one, but it's a 30-point spread.
Yeah, I mean, I would lean Cincinnati.
Temple's bad.
Temple
is bad.
They're bad. I mean,
they've got a couple wins recently.
Yeah, they surprised Memphis last week, but I'm honestly, I don't know. I don't like laying that much wood, but maybe. I don't know. It's not the best slate tonight. It kind of sucks because at least we cashed the 2 last night and that's 2-0, but.
I would say, given all those red flags, Arizona State might be the biggest indicator. But I know you don't like to hear that, partner. But
yeah. I mean, it really might be. I just really think Arizona. You might fade me. Honestly.
I might take that one just because of all these indicators. I just don't like how they beating them by 2 touchdowns. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't see how Arizona State wins by 2 touchdowns. I just don't see it, and I honestly see them walking it off. I do not understand. But I did see someone I really respect have it projected at -13. So I don't know what to make heads or tails of it. I'm riding the Stanford. If you follow me, Stanford Trees, if you follow me on the Action app, you'll see I said, not a pod pick. What the fuck is going on with this line? Sun Devils favored by 2 damn tutties and rising. Watch the Trees win this son of a bitch outright. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, but who knows? I have no clue what is actually going to happen. 1-star play, not official pod pick tonight. Stanford plus 13.5.
I'm ready. All right.
Okay, there we have it. There we go. Outside of that is my NFL best bets of the weekend. Let's recap them quickly for you so you have them all live on your screen. One more time, pull out your favorite sports book. Get ready to hammer them all in. And for the first time live on your screen on this beautiful October 8th, 2021. So now I don't have to check my calendar too. The TTL Crew's best NFL bets for Week 5 of the regular season. Coming to you live from London, the beautiful Tottenham Stadium. They are playing in Tottenham this year, not at Wembley. So there you go. There you have it.
I think there's a few London games.
There'll
be one in Wembley.
There'll probably be one in Wembley too. Either way, we're talking about the picks. To the right, you see my best bets of the weekend. I'm taking the Jets +3, the Panthers -3.5, Jacksonville Jaguars +4.5, Washington Football Team +2.5, Cincinnati Bengals +3, the LA Chargers -1.5, New York City Football Giants +7, and the San Francisco 49ers +5.5. On the opposite side, me and my partner almost lining up identical, but he has one addition. Jets +3, New York Giants +7, 49ers +4.5, little different line there. Jags +4.5 as well, and already locked in Sunday Night Football. As a matter of fact, did this past Monday. Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, Sean McDermott, money line as an underdog. There you go. There you have it. Lock them in, hammer them home, sprinkle a little bit of dough down, whatever you need to say. Just make sure you get this weekend's Week 5 NFL best bets from the TTL Crew in it, whatever the current best line is on your favorite sports book.
Phew.
Whew. Okay, my friend. Holy cow. Thank you all so much for stopping by, hanging out. Couple of freebies, little brief things for you guys here before we send you on about your weekends. I'm about ready for a bathroom break, so let's not dive too deep into that MLB.
No,
Flicking
I don't got to. I mean, hell, they start an hour, so I'm trying to fucking get moving, anyways. But
so
real quickly, go ahead. My bad.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I said, yeah, let's not talk about it. And he's like, oh, let's talk about it. First things first. Partner, anything going on the brain, melting on the heart, festering on the soul? You have been dying to get out to the kind folks to join us on episode number 141 of the 142 of the TTL pod on this beautiful October 8th, 2021.
Alrighty, so I need to make myself feel better here about my sports teams this weekend. My White Sox, a little bit of sharp indicators on the Sox here. Just talking baseball for a brief second here. 50-50 bets, slips, 50-50 money on today's action. It is moving closer to plus 100 for the Sox, down from plus 115-ish yesterday and 110 this morning. So starting to feel good. Action projects Lucas Giolito over 4.5 Ks. Project him at 7.2 Ks. That seems a little wild, but I'm feeling better, my man. I am feeling better. Brewers favored minus 157. Rays minus 145 against Chris Sale. And Dodgers Giants to end the night. I am excited for that series. Giants plus 100 at home against Walker Buehler. So interesting. Might be back in a home dog. I am a big fan of Walker Buehler, though.
Very interesting. I'm going to have to dive into some of those lines. You might see some plays from me on those bad boys. But honestly, I just might watch the playoffs as a fan.
Yeah, I think the Brewers would probably be my favorite best bet to make.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know at this point in time right now because, man, just getting piped by some fickle bullshit in the last, there's 2 outs that should have never fucking happened. What in the world? When if I can see it coming in NFL, I'm not covering this spread. I was on the wrong side. I know I'm on the wrong side the whole fucking game, and then just something, a guy boots it, walks off the game, and I can't do that. I want to watch as a fan. I want to enjoy that. I don't want to be pissed off watching those games.
Yep.
So, kind of what I'm thinking, but I still might have a sprinkle here or there. Good degenerate I am. All right.
Of course.
All that being said, nothing else too major to cover. Just as a reminder, you guys want a little bit of extra knowledge, insights from some of the greatest minds in the sports gambling industry while you got some dead time this weekend. Maybe you're waiting for the action to start. Hop on over to the Wise Words podcast playlist. You can find it here on our channel, or you can also find it on your favorite major podcast directory. If you're listening to this pod, you can find it Spotify, Apple, whatever. See Wise Words, and then big green letters or in a green box, Talking the Line Sports Media, right there on the front. It's usually the second or third one pops up on there. We're pretty niche in the Wise Words, but connect with the sharpest, most electric names in all the sports gambling. We get loads of insights. I've kind of coined it as building our own betting Frankenstein, and kind of had some laughs on that with our guest last night. So it's been an absolute blessing. It's so amazing for us to not only build the network, but also just get insights from guys who have been doing this so much longer from us than us, and be able to add that to our repertoire and then share that with you guys. I mean, it is just beyond a blessing to be able to do that for you guys. So we can't tell you how much we appreciate when you stop by Wise Words, and we're going to keep pumping out some electric episodes. Make sure you stop by while you got some dead time this weekend. Last episode was Mr. Cam Rogers.
Had a couple people reach out, say they got some nice golf tips from that one. If you like golf betting, go check it out. We took down some serious advice on that one. It was a good one.
Yes, sir. We'll have my UFC picks blog out tomorrow morning. Got some solid value on the card tomorrow. Mags is going to have Extra Cheddar, his weekly Packers blog. That bad boy will be out on Sunday morning, most likely as well. Other blogs coming out in the near future. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you never miss the start of a live show, anything like that, any video content. But if you just want to stay up to date with everything we're doing, always know the latest and greatest, just type in talkingtheline.com in your web browser. You'll get taken right to our website. You'll see all of our additional content, our social platforms, our featured content, our pods, everything in between, our partners. Speaking of, shout out Moneyline Dice.
Oh, yeah.
Hello. Just had a fucking gnat or something fly in my face. Shout out our partners, Moneyline Dice. We don't like to bring them on in these situations. We will very, very soon. But it's just, we have so many plays. We just don't want to disagree on something, and we'll bring them back soon. But if you don't agree with all of us, you want to roll your own stuff, shout out Moneyline Dice. Check them out at moneylinedice.com. You actually go to this episode's description. Just check it out down there. They have loads of dope-ass merchandise. Nothing is off limits. Whatever you guys want there, you get it in your cart. You head on over to checkout. You can enter code TTL10, TTL10 for 10% off your first order at moneylinedice.com. Pretty damn sweet. Our favorite all-knowing cubicle objects. They help us get tickets to the window, so you should test them out too. They are proven. That all being said, you'll see all of that, everything in between, talkingtheline.com. Nothing else for you as far as reminders, nothing else major earth-shattering. Just, we all need, however, before I send you guys on about your days, on your ways, we all need a little extra motivation, a little inspiration, a little something. And it's funny that my message today actually plays in right where we're at. So, quickly, but not too quick, into my motivation minutes of the day. And as we wrap up today's show and we kind of get speed up, I'm ready to get out of here, ready to go, and we got other stuff going, and we got to get this accomplished, that accomplished, do this, here, then, bang, bang. Oh my gosh, it's Sunday night. What has happened? Where did the weekend go? Well, I hope you noticed that I slowed down a little bit. That was actually my message for you guys today. So I wanted to challenge you to slow down as you go into this weekend. And I wanted to ask you that question: how fast does Sunday night come for you? And if it's like that, and you're one of those people that say, oh man, the weekend goes so fast, I can't believe it's Sunday already. Time moves the same for everybody. We all get the same 24 hours in a day. Why do some people seem that their weekends don't go so fast? Because they have the ability to slow down, take time for themselves, realize that in every situation they find themselves in, they can do it with a purpose. They can do it by being 100% in that moment. The reason why your days seem to go by so fast is because you're doing task on top of task on top of task while thinking about the next 15 tasks that you're about to accomplish. All of our weekends are busy. I can't deny that. It's when I get the majority of my shit done. I got to clean the whole studios. I got to meal prep. I got to do laundry. I got to do all types of shit. I understand. I get it. But being in the moment, being in the present, slowing down to do those things will only allow you to take your weekends slower and allow those weekends to elongate and allow you to cherish those moments that you get this weekend, to decompress, to relax, to enjoy some football, to cash some tickets. Those are all, even though this is what we do on the show, those are all side fun things. Most important part is this right here. Everything inside. And if that's not right, if you ain't got that locked in, ain't nothing on the outside ever going to be locked in either. So I challenge you today, my friends. If you're getting a little sped up, even as we were talking, even as we were going, you're already thinking, oh shit, okay, show's already almost over. This is what we got to do. I got to do this. All right, awesome, bang, bang. Take it a step back. If you're listening, listen to my voice and utilize it as an opportunity to slow way down. I appreciate every single one of you. I can't thank you enough for giving me the opportunity to share my goofy knowledge with you guys. Just a little bit of things that have helped me survive this thing called life. And I found that my weekends don't go by so fast anymore. And Sunday night doesn't come all too quick. Because I've learned to slow down and enjoy every moment of it. And that does it for my motivation minutes of the weekend.
I love it, my man. That's a good message for the weekend.
A little some kind of wild how it just kind of all synced up there. Everything come full circle. I love those moments.
Not bad at all.
So there you go. That officially is the motivation minutes. All right, everybody, thank you. I'm gonna say about 50 more times before we get you out of here, but holy shit, I can't tell you guys hang around for 2 hours. We talk about all types of shits. We have great fun, amazing time. We have a blast. You guys are the shit. Can't tell you how much we appreciate you. Let me, if I could be so kind, send all of you and us into the weekend the only way we know how. Ladies and gentlemen, degenerates, gamblers, our friends from across the pond in England, if you have tuned in here today, fans of the NFL Shield, fantasy football players, and anybody I might have left out that tuned into episode number 142 of the Talking the Line podcast, far and wide, from myself and Mags. Thank you so much again for choosing to stop by today. Get some picks, insights, analysis. Get ready to run to the pay window with us all weekend long. We are ready to cash some tickets. I told you guys 2-0 starts at the college weekend. I am loving tomorrow's slate from the both of us. Let's start it off hot. Hey, if you forgot, tell your friends, tell your brothers, tell your uncles, tell your enemies, tell your neighbors, tell everybody in between. Be a friend, tell a friend. The TTL pod is for all. We want to help you bankrupt these sports books as well. Come on, get in the trenches with us. Load it on up. Load up with picks, and let's get into the daily battles with the books. Hey, we'll miss you guys over the weekend. We love the hell out of you. We appreciate the hell out of you. But we will see you back right here come Monday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. But for now, we hope you have a spectacular rest of your Friday, unless you have any other plans. A terrific start to your weekend, and all the way through it, nothing but cash and tickets, good vibes, laughs, everything in between. And last but certainly not least, make sure you get those best bets of the weekend hammered in so you can say right alongside with us, the right way to say that sentence at the end of every show. Let's cash some tickets. Bear down.
Go Pack, go. Damn it.
Pick up the phone and start dialing. Does your girlfriend think